All right, all right. What is good, everyone? What is good, everyone? OJ here. Welcome back to the stream. I hope all of you guys are doing good today. My voice, I guess. I don't know. I'll let you guys be the deciding factor. I think my voice is doing better. I know I'm feeling better, but sorry for the late startup, guys. I had just a few things that I had to take care of before that I didn't foresee. Yo, what's up though, guys? Shout outs. Welcome to the stream. Big love. Justin with the 3. I appreciate that. Shout outs to Justin.
That farming simulator video was great. The I must have been adopted part had me dying. Lol, also it looks like the cyberpunk sale was actually a glitch.
Yeah. Positive on both of those. Yeah. The farming simulator video I thought was hilarious. Like, when they first reached out to me, I thought it was like a scam, so I didn't really want to do it. But then I saw like RGT did it, and I saw like people actually were doing it, so it's not a scam. So like, oh, okay, cool. Because like I'm so worried about scams when it comes down to like the when people reach out via email, because like so many of them are scam. So that one wasn't. So I was like, okay, I'll do. I haven't done a sponsorship in a while. I guess I'll do one, like an official sponsorship. I guess I'll do one. So I do something kind of funny. So yeah, like I had a few more jokes that I wanted to throw in there, but I removed some of them. But no, nothing too crazy. But yeah, I thought it was a funny what's it called video. It's an interesting game for sure, Farming Simulator. Definitely not usually my style of game, but yeah, I thought it was funny. Shout outs to Justin. Thank you for the $3 dono. $3 on the board. We got the combo effects. I don't know. Like I said, I'll go as long as my voice can take me if we hit our 3-hour goal. But yeah, I'm just trying to do my best to hold on. I've been taking my medicine, been taking my little cough drops. I'm doing my best, guys. I'm trying to, do my best. And like, I don't know, I hope my voice recovers so I can finish. I mean, we're done on Wednesday is the last day of this month. And then New Year's is on Thursday. So I'm hoping I can maybe get like, top 25s out by next week. I'm hoping, like, I probably should have already had them done already, but I don't. So I've got to get cracking on that. If not, I'm going to have to use a text to voice mod or something like that. So I'll probably, if I can't speak the whole time, I'll probably just type everything out and I'll just use a text to voice mod. My green screen's messing up right here. Give me a second. So yeah, I'll probably just use a text to voice mod. If I can't speak by Monday, I can't let it go any further than Monday. So yeah. I don't sound like Shaq, Big Daddy Shaq. Yeah, I know my voice is shot. Anyway, let's get to shout outs though. Big love to Justin. Big love to Element Master with the 39 months of membership. Ayo, appreciate that. Thank you for the 39 months. Element Master, been around for a long time. I appreciate you, fam. Let's go. Dior is here. Party Man is here. Daniel C is here. Let's go. Max Only is here. What is good? 777 AG AZ double OG. What is good? You're always here. What's up, man? Welcome. Egomaniac. What's up, Egomaniac? Ronan says, Merry Christmas Eve from London. Okay, you guys celebrate Christmas. Oh, yeah, you're already ahead of time, so it's already Wednesday for you. So, yeah, shout outs. Merry Christmas Eve, my boy. Bluncy. What's up, Bluncy? Westside OM. Seasons greetings, OJ and Ninjas. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yo, Barvender. What's up, Barvender? Welcome. Matt O, what's up, Matt O 96? I thought Shaq was doing this. I know, Big Daddy Shaq. This. What up? Remember to appreciate your family, loved ones. Yes, yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yeah. I mean, and like the whole Vincent Bella thing. Apparently, I don't want to comment too much on this, but we talked about how Vincent Pella, passed away. Apparently, there was footage of the car wreck. I mean, I'm not gonna play it here. I'm not going to speculate too much, but yeah, it did not look good. If that is to be believed, I'm not 100%. I'm like 95% sure that was the actual wreck. So yeah, you just got to be careful, guys. Like if that was the actual wreck, be careful. Don't do anything, that's going to put your life at jeopardy. Like I said, I don't know if that was the actual wreck that TMZ said it was the wreck. TMZ said that was the wreck. And yeah, it just like I said, I don't want to say this is 100%, but it seemed like Vince was flying at a speed out of a tunnel and there was a turn and there was no way that he was going to be able to make that turn at that speed. I don't know. Like I said, I've been on that road that he's on. I don't know how anybody can control themselves going at that speed on that tunnel, through that tunnel and everything. So I don't know. Either way, just be careful, guys. Yeah, man. Tell your family and friends, your loved ones that you know that you care for them. What's up, Box Rider? What's good, man? Yeah, the video was horrific. It's very, very bad. Yo, Boxing Rider. Yo, thank you. Welcome back to the Tune In Tier Squad. Thank you so much. Welcome. Exclamation mark member. Get your Tune In Tiers in, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen. We're at 467 elites. You want to get your badges, your emotes? Yo, we out here. Only $1 for that Tune In Tier, so I appreciate that. What's up, Skill Fluids? Welcome. What's up, Wyatt Montgomery? My man, Wyatt. Roger. What's up, Roger? Welcome. I'm trying to feel better, brother. What's up, GeoHound? What's up, General Zamora? Excuse me. What is good? What's up, Vadsent? Welcome. Back on the road. Hey, there you go, man. Let's go. What's up, Zen G? Oh, I do have general driving recommendation. Dash cams. Invest in a good one. They aren't very expensive. I mean, dash cam, that'd be good for sure if something happens. You know, but at the end of the day, like, really, it seems like he was going too quick. You know, for like that area. Like, you can't drive that fast there. You're going to be in trouble because there's a turn. What do you think about Deca Police? I was stoked on it. I'm bummed it's gone silent. It hasn't went silent. They said it's going to be 2026, and there's an anime, so they already let us know what's going on with it. So we're going to hear more about it this upcoming year. I heard the same spot but different rec from last year. Okay, I heard that was the same spot but different rec from last year. Okay, that's the reason why I didn't want to say that it was 100%. I mean, usually when TMZ reports on something, it's you know, it's they don't report on it unless they have it for sure. Like TMZ, like, people don't like them, and I get it, but usually TMZ does not report on something unless it was like for real, you know. So yeah. You see the footage, OJ? I did see the footage, but I can't 100% confirm that it was. But like I said, usually TMZ doesn't report on something unless it's like 100%, and they still have the video up. So I mean, if it was a wreck from last year, I think TMZ would have taken it down by now, right? Like, I don't think TMZ would have left up misinformation for that long. They would have definitely taken it down at this point, but it's still up on their page. So I don't know. I'm not sure. You've been sick for 3 weeks now? Oh man, I'm sorry to hear about that. What's up, Mega Lee? Ubisoft going so hard on Switch, they're writing their own algorithms to help other N9N Ubisoft games. Is that what's N9N? What's that? What's up, George FT? Welcome. Let's see. Hello, player. Talking about Nintendo Direct for the next year, right? My one prediction is that here we go. Kerbal Trooper Deluxe, Kirby Planet Robobot pack for Switch and Switch 2. Kirby Triple Deluxe has been rumored for a long time now, so we'll see what happens there. Shout outs, Connor. What's up, Andy? Thank you for the $1.99 donation, man. I appreciate that. Let's go. It says juice. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you for the $2 dono, man. I appreciate that. 6 on the board. We're close. A little bit less than halfway before we get that 15-minute extension tonight. Sorry for I got, like I said, my Shaquille O'Neal or Brittany Griner voice going. I still got the Brittany Griner going, bro. I got a variety of different drinks, from regular water, from sparkling water, and from a sparkling ice. Here we go. Black cherry sparkling ice. So I got a variety of different things for today to help my my vocal cords out today. Yeah, I'm getting over the sickness. I'm getting over it. So still I'm like in the last phases. I think my voice will probably still be shot like for like the next maybe like 2 or 3 days. So I think I'll probably go into the weekend. Got my Mucidex, got that. So I'm doing my best. Been drinking my tea, all that. So yeah. Yeah, I don't know if there's going to be a double pack or not, Connor. I mean, I don't know. We'll have to wait and see if they decide to do a double pack for that. I don't think so, but let's see. Let's wait and see. For 2026, that could be one of the games, though. That, I mean, we've heard about, Kirby potentially coming over, like the 3DS games. So we'll see what happens. So yeah. Lemonade sparkling ice was the best one. You don't drink it anymore because it gives you bad acne. Oh man, that's too bad. Yeah, I don't really get. I used to get bad acne when I was young, but I don't really get acne no more. But shout outs to Andy Ackerman. Appreciate you, man. Thanks for coming out to the stream. Kind of new to keeping up with Nintendo news. When do we usually get the first direct? February or March. February or March of the year is usually when we get the first Nintendo Direct of the year. So. You can expect it around that time. We went back and looked at when we usually get directs, and a lot of the directs were in February. There were some in March, but a lot of the most recent Nintendo directs were February directs. So I'm anticipating that it's going to be either early March or mid February or so. It all depends on when they can actually put everything together, So yeah. So yeah. What's your thoughts on Octopath Traveler 0? The villains are it's really put a pit in my stomach. I haven't played enough of it yet.
Sparkling ice is what got me off of soda good stuff.
Yeah.
Now I'm on to hint water.
Okay, yeah,
also,
yeah.
I'm really looking forward to Mario Wonder Switch 2 Edition. I'm looking forward to playing that game again.
I want to see the new content. I'm hoping that they actually have some really good boss battles this time around. That was the one thing that people talked about. If they can fix that with the DLC coming through with some great boss battles and some of the stuff that some people said that maybe wasn't great about the game, I think that'd be really cool. Shout outs to Justin. Thank you for another $3 dono. I appreciate that. Let's go. Justin bumps up his Hokage lead to $6. Anybody does 6 or more, you can tie up Justin or pass him up. Remember, if you drop a dono, put your music request in the chat. I'll be more than happy to play your video game track you want me to play. Excuse me. What was that? 6 more combos before we get for the 15-minute extension. Yo, Cyber Taurus with the $20 dono. This man, you dropped an epic farming video like 50 Cent lays down a track in honor of your epic farming career. I may officially dub 50 acre. Oh man, bro, this man said 50 acre. Oh no, that's like hilarious. 50 acre, many men. Wish death upon my farm. Lord, I don't cry no more. Don't farm in the skies no more.
Yo man, what's up? I've gotten a nice raise, so it came at the perfect time with the bills, mortgage I have to deal with as well as new games lol.
Yo, shout outs.
Looking forward to 2026.
Party
Lastly,
man.
I see a certain someone is back in chat who said Sakurai hates modern Kirby.
I think he's talking to you, Connor. Sakurai hates modern Kirby, but then he dropped a lot of modern Kirby characters for Kirby Air Riders. Shout outs to Party Man. Party Man, never feel obligated, man. I know you got a lot on your plate, but I appreciate that, fam. Yo, big love to Party Man for the raise. Party Man out here doing it the right way, not being like me getting fired from jobs after college. Let's go. Shout outs to Party Man. Thank you for the 5. Shout outs to Justin with the 3. Cyber Taurus. Yo, we got the Trinity, the Triforce right there. Let's go. Appreciate you guys. Big love, Cyber Taurus. Let's go ahead and get you up on the top of the board here with that $20 dono. Anybody that's 20 or more, you can beat up my man Cyber T at the top, like always, baby. All right, no, it's all good. Hey, look, that call out was actually needed. Connor never actually addressed that situation with Kirby Air Riders after freaking going so hard that Sakurai was some type of hater of any characters that were like modern Kirby or whatever, So I think the call out was needed. Considering, I mean, one time Connor debated it for like 2 to 3 hours, like legitimately was here complaining. Actually, not even just 2 to 3 hours. It was days. So yeah. Listen, I'm not getting into any conversations about Kirby. I don't care, Connor. I legitimately don't care. I'm done with this. I'm done. I don't care about the characters or not. I legitimately don't care. I appreciate you, fam, but we ain't doing this ever again. I'm not doing this. I'm not. You did? Okay, my bad. Connor says that he did. He did address it. But either way, I'm not discussing Kirby stuff when it comes to the characters in Air Riders. I don't even have the voice to do that today. I don't have the voice to do it, so I'm not going to do it. Connor says that he did address that, though. So, I don't know. I think my voice is going to get worse if we start talking about that. So, real quick, combo breaks. 30-second extension. Or 30-minute extension. Let's go. Let's hit it.
Overclock Buster!
Big love, though. I appreciate that. Cyber T, big love to Party Man. 34 on the board. Next one up, 11 more combos. We get that to 30. What was that? That'd be 45. We get a 45-minute extension. Let's go. Get some rest. I'm going to get some rest. I actually took a big nap before this stream, so I got plenty of rest. I got rest last night, too, but I woke up really early to edit, so I can edit another video for you guys, because I know everybody was not going to want to watch my farming video. So I was like, all right, let me get a different video prepared with some content that I wanted to talk about. So I did. So I did a lot of stuff this morning. So I took a nap. So yeah, bro, I swear I have pneumonia. I feel your pain with Barry White voice, bro. I'm telling you, dude. I might have it too. I'm getting over it though. Like I'm getting over it. We said Brittany Griner, somewhere between Brittany Griner, Shaquille O'Neal, Barry White, you know. What's up, J2 Blue? What's up, Solid Jakin? Damn, the Niners destroyed the Colts. Yeah, they did. But I mean, the Niners defense was kind of trash, though, to be honest.
Can I get some Kirby 64 music? Lol, even I don't want to talk about Kirby right now. Lol.
We can talk about Kirby. I'm just not talking about certain characters. And like, if you want to talk about fun stuff, or if you want to talk about what you feel like gameplay for like the next 3D, like, you know, Switch 2 Kirby, maybe they'll announce something. I don't have a problem with that, but I'm not talking about certain characters in the Air Riders. I'm not talking about that. I don't mind talking Kirby. I'm just not talking that specifics of Kirby. All right, let's see here. Charles Barkley has a little bit of a voice like this. So Charles Barkley, his voice is a little bit more southern and a little bit more rounded. It's not quite like my voice, you know. It's not quite like my voice right now. There is a little bit of that Charles Barkley, but there's a little bit of a little bit of a corny, like cornball tone to Charles Barkley's voice that my voice right now doesn't have. But I feel you though. Kirby Air Riders. I got a little gnat in my room. What is this? Oh, a little thing. Anyway, or Kirby. Let's see here. Kirby 64. Kirby 64 music. Yeah, Old Man Rivers played. He played hard, man. Philip Rivers can still deliver. The thing about quarterbacks is that their intelligence still stays, man. They can still deliver. They can still deliver when they need to. It's just about everything else. Obviously, Philip Rivers got a double chin. You know, he's got a little bit of a grandpa belly, you know, or a dad belly, you know. I mean, obviously, he's not in incredible shape, but I mean, his arm is still somewhat there, but he was laboring to throw the ball. Like, he couldn't push the ball down the field. It was short on him. Like, you can just tell that, like, yeah, it's all that. I feel you, Connor. Merry Christmas, man. Have a nice Christmas. Merry Christmas to you and your family. Merry Christmas. Let's see here. Niners made me some money last night, but damn, that defense is mid. Defense is below mid. It's not a great defense. It's not a great defense. Let's see here. A party man. But I mean, they couldn't stop the Niners offense. Like, the Niners, I think Brock Purdy's finally feeling like healthy with his toe. Like, the last 5 games, I mean, he's been on a tear. I think he's like 15 touchdowns to like 4 interceptions or something like that. Like, Brock Purdy's playing as good as anybody right now. So yeah. Their offense, their play calling is really, really precise, really good play calling. Their defense, once again, is just a lot of rookies, a lot of injuries. I mean, I didn't expect much from their defense. They did do a good job of stopping Jonathan Taylor, though. I did like that. If you're gonna make Phillip Rivers beat you, which I think that was a good game plan. Like if you're gonna give up passes, like sooner or later, Phillip Rivers is gonna be old, which he was old on a few plays. He couldn't push the ball down the field. I mean, he did a great job and he was hitting guys, but like, don't let Jonathan Taylor run all over you. So I think that the game plan coming out was stop Jonathan Taylor at all costs. The Niners have been giving up a lot of big rushing yards to guys. So I think I do like the fact that they said, hey, look, if we're going to lose, it's going to be Phillip Rivers, his old self beating us. We're not going to let Jonathan Taylor beat us, So I think that was the right call to do that, Let's see, if the season ended right now and Panthers would host the Niners in the welcome round, yeah, that'd be crazy. I'd feel confident about that game if the Niners, went there to play them, because Brock Purdy couldn't play anywhere. I don't think he'd play as bad as he did the first time that they played. So this season, oh, you're a Colts fan? Okay, you're happy that he came out slinging it. Yeah, it was good to see Phillip Rivers do that. Yo, combo breaks for Phillip Rivers. Combo breaks for Phillip Rivers. That man's listen, man. Listen. I went to school, I saw Phillip Rivers. Like back in the day when I was playing, Phillip Rivers was like a rookie quarterback, So he's old. He's not young, So yeah. If the season ended, Purdy's a demon. Can't believe the dude was Mr. Irrelevant. I mean, the reason why Purdy was Mr. Irrelevant is because he's got kind of like, he doesn't have a cannon arm, and because he didn't go to a bigger school. He went to Iowa State, his measurables weren't great, but I mean, he did get offered, apparently. He did get offered by Bama. He got offered by Bama and Texas A&M. So, I mean, if he decided to go to Bama or Texas A&M and did good there, he probably would have not been Mr. Irrelevant. But, I mean, the chances of playing at Bama are, he probably wouldn't have played at Bama because he would have went there during, I think, like Jalen Hurts and Mac Jones and all those guys. So I don't think he would have played. So it was a good idea for him to go to Iowa. He was a 4-year starter at Iowa State, if I'm not correct. But what's up, OJ? Hey, how you doing today, Mr. Davis? What is good? I think the next 3D, 2D open world sequel, Forgotten Land, will be in 2027. I don't know if it's going to be 2027, but we'll see. I think probably a little bit later, but you know what? It's been, how many years has it been since Kirby and the Forgotten Land? It's been like, what, 2022? So it'll be 5 years. So yeah, maybe they got something else going there, So yeah, Purdy looked like an MVP out there during that game. Well, yeah, like he didn't say he's going to be the MVP, Nick. He said that he looked like the MVP. Not that he's going to be. He looked like an MVP. Not that he's going to be. I mean, Stafford's going to be the MVP. I mean, I think that's pretty clear. Stafford's going to be the MVP this year. Justin with another 3.
Why are there so many hot spring scenes in JRPGs? Lol, also, when do you see Splatoon Raiders releasing?
I see Splatoon Raiders releasing in probably summer. Splatoon seems to be more like a summer type of game. So I definitely think that's going to be a summer release for Splatoon Raiders, along with the tease of Splatoon 4, or like the first trailer for Splatoon 4 as well. I think it's going to tie into each other. Like Splatoon Raiders is the bridge between Splatoon 3, between Splatoon 3 and Splatoon 4. Splatoon Raiders is going to be like the in-between title, and then it's going to transition to Splatoon 4. So I think that's what they're going to do. They're going to do that kind of in between. Shout outs. Thank you so much, Justin, with another $3 dono. Appreciate that. 40 on the board. How do we get the 40 out of nowhere? Oh my gosh, 5 more combos. 40. Like I said, I'll do my best, guys, to extend this stream as long as my voice holds out. So yeah. What's up, Gaming Manor? Welcome. Shout outs to Gaming Manor. Good to see you here. Shout outs, welcome. I mean, if the Browns actually had a winning season, I think maybe Myles Garrett could be the MVP, but the Browns are bad. So that's the reason why Myles Garrett's not going to be the MVP. But he's probably going to break Strahan's record. So and TJ Watt and all them. So, I mean, I think Myles Garrett had a chance if they were good, but they're not good. So if there's anybody else that could actually be in it, you know, I think Josh Allen will be a finalist in there. I think CMC will be a finalist in there. So I think the top 3 guys are probably going to be Matthew Stafford, Josh Allen, and CMC. Those are going to be the top 3 guys for the MVP this year. So yeah, with Matthew Stafford winning it. Let's see here. Also, Kirby 64, the Crystal Shards is playing in the background. This year's 20th anniversary of House should have done a remake for it. Yeah, they're not gonna spend a lot of resources doing a remake of Kirby 64. There's no point. That game's not that great. So they're gonna spend those resources on newer games or stuff that's more appropriate for what's going on now. They're not gonna remake that game. Drake May, he's had a good year, but his numbers aren't as good as Stafford's numbers. No, I don't think Drake May is going to be the MVP this year. No. I think he's only had one 300-yard passing game too. So I mean, yeah, Stafford's blown him. I mean, Stafford's had a better year than Drake May. So yeah. Let's see here. It's a quarterback award. I mean, it's a quarterback award unless you do something that's like absolutely incredible at a different position. You know, you have to do something. But yeah, it's pretty much a quarterback award, you know. That's why they created like the offensive player of the year. That usually goes to like, you know, offensive players that aren't quarterbacks, and then the defensive player of the year, which goes to obviously like the best defensive players. So yeah, the MVP is a quarterback award. Offensive player of the year is like a skill position award, and then of course, you know, defensive player of the year, best person that had like the best overall defensive numbers and stats for the year, you know. So yeah, Kittle already gave an update on that. It's not too bad when it comes to Kittle's injury. It seems like it's not a high ankle sprain, just a little bit of an ankle sprain. So he should be able to play, but they'll probably limit him in practice, and then he'll probably go, but they probably won't do anything too crazy with him. They've got Tonjes, who's really good. He made an incredible catch. That was actually he made a tiptoe sideline catch, and he actually filled in really well for Kittle. They've got those 2 tight ends, Tonjes and the other guy, that can play. So I mean, they're not as good as Kittle, but I mean, they can fill in and they'll get some catches. So if he can't play, so yeah, they just need him back for Seattle just in case. So if I was the Niners, I mean, if he can't go, then you know, don't play him, sit him, let Tonjes and the other guy play, and then have him back for the big game against Seattle. Let's see here. I'm glad Mario Tennis Fever is February. Not a long wait for fun multiplayer game. I'll spend hundreds of hours like in Mario Tennis Aces. Yeah, I'm looking forward to Mario Tennis Fever. I think it's going to be a fun time. So yeah. Let's see here. At one point, CMC led the league rushing and receiving yards. Haven't checked recently. He's like top 10 in both. Like he's a top 10 or top. He's definitely like top 5, top 10 in rushing yards. And then he's like a top 10, top 15, like receiving yards, touches he leads overall. So, I mean, yeah, CMC could win Offensive Player of the Year again. It's very possible, depending on if he gets 1,000, CMC is probably going to win Offensive Player of the Year again. You know, obviously last year he was hurt, but the year before he won it. So, yeah, he might win it again. You know, so yeah, there's that. He's probably got a few more good years in him. I mean, honestly, I think he could transition to wide receiver and extend his career longer if he really wanted to, you know. Probably play till he's 37 at wide receiver.
Do you think there will ever be a full RPG Party Zelda spin-off?
I do. I do think that there will be an RPG Zelda spin-off. And I think that Monolith Soft one of these days will make it. I do think so, yeah. We've gotten close. I mean, obviously Hyrule Warriors is not a traditional RPG in the same sense, you know, but it's definitely an RPG, like an action RPG. So I definitely think that one of these days they'll get us like an actual RPG, like, you know, party members or like turn-based or like actual RPG Zelda game in the future at some point. Thank you, Justin, for another $3 dono. Yo, combo breaks. 2 more till we get to the 45-minute extension. Let's go. Shout outs, guys. I appreciate that. No, he didn't hit 1K yet. He's about 160 yards away from 100 and something yards away from the receiving. He hit the 1,000 rushing, but he still needs about 100 something more yards. So he needs to average about 60 to 70 more yards per game here through the air to get the 1,000. He'll be the first player ever to have 2 seasons of 1,000 rushing, 1,000 rushing, 1,000 receiving. So yeah. So Mario Tennis and Mario Golf games have taught me about basic game rules as a young kid that have always stuck with me. Yeah, I never really knew golf before, but when I played Mario Golf on the N64, it taught me about like bogey and birdie and par and all of that. So yeah, I actually learned some basic stuff and, you know, the driver and putters and 9-iron and all that. So yeah, I actually learned a few different things. Tennis, I didn't learn anything. I used to watch Andre Agassi and Pete Sampras back in the day. So I learned about tennis that way. But golf, yeah, I mean, I watched Tiger, but I still didn't know what the hell they were doing. But yeah, Mario Golf taught me about that. Hey, with the $5 dono, I appreciate that. But before, let me read off what Dan Dip said. Your sponsor vid today was fantastic. You legit made my day and was hilarious. The thumbnail and adoptive comment had me rolling 10 out of 10. Yeah, that's what my sponsor said. The sponsor said that they laughed out loud when they saw that. No edits. They laughed out loud when they heard, like when they saw that. They were dying laughing during my. They said it was one of the funniest, if not the funniest, video that anybody did for the farming simulator. So yeah, I enjoyed doing it. I knew I had to do something funny because it's like, I mean, it's a farming game, you know. Shout outs to Hey, appreciate that. Thank you for the $5 dono. Gets us to 48 combo breaks. Going further than beyond, baby. And of course, you guys know the deal. Let's go. Extension.
Overclock Buster!
Let's go. Shout outs, man. Appreciate that. Thank you so much. Overclock 45. Like I said, I'll extend the stream as long as my voice holds out. This was a 2-year, 3-year real blow for the Panthers. They'll probably get bounced in the one if we make the playoffs. Price has proven a lot, so that's all that matters. Listen, I wouldn't necessarily discount the Panthers winning in the play. I mean, they could beat the Niners. They can beat anybody in the NFC because Panthers are so hot and cold. They can beat anybody in the NFC. Don't discount them. You know, don't take them lightly. They can beat anybody. Like I said, they're hot and cold. I mean, that's a scary game to play the Panthers at home. You know, they're going to get a home playoff game. They're going to get one if they make it. They're going to get one. And that's a scary team to play in the playoffs, you know. So yeah. Bruh, finding out that level 5 is heavily using AI on every project is crazy, especially on art and writing when they are so good at it to begin with. They're using AI because they just can't, they don't have a publisher. And listen, guys, I don't like the fact, like, I'm not a big crazy AI person, you know, where I go ballistic if somebody uses it. Like, I understand why people do though, but I've never done that. You know, I've never made any videos going ballistic on people using AI. But I understand why they're using AI. Level 5 is using AI because they can't ever stick to any freaking deadlines. They delay everything. They don't have the manpower and resources to simply make the type of games which they make, I would say, low end in terms of development budget, low end AAA games. Their games are AAA-ish. They're not the highest of the high, but their games can be close to that, or they're high end AA in terms of budget, right? They take a while to make. They don't have a million developers, so they're doing it to speed up development time. That's the reason why. I mean, that's really what it comes down to.
I could really use some different color GameCube NSO controllers, but seeing how the N64 never got any, I don't know if it will happen.
Yeah,
also, I
don't
saw a
know.
lot of people playing Cyberpunk on Switch 2 after the sale last night.
Yeah.
Lol.
It jumped up to number 1 because people saw that price. That's the cheapest it's ever been. Like, you know, when it comes down to like a digital storefront for $18, you get all the DLC, you get the full experience. So yeah, a lot of people picked it up. I picked it up. It was a mistake. But you know, you snooze, you lose. You know, I'll definitely play it now at some point. Now that I can just access it at any point on any of my Switch 2s, yeah, I'll probably play it at some point when I'm just like, okay, let me just play something. You know. So yeah, thank you, Justin, with the $3 dono. Appreciate that. 51 on the board. 9 combos away from the 1 hour, or at least trying to get the 60 extension. The farming sim vid was dope. Yeah. Even if you just watch like the first 6 minutes or 7 minutes, it's fun. Let's see here. Really funny how OJ never talks about failing Nintendo Switch 2 holiday season in the videos, or only glazes the company. No, I talk about things when it comes to stuff that's not doing well. But where's the rule of three? Do you have a link? What's the source of the failing holiday season videos? Like, or Switch 2, like, what's the source? Where are the numbers, or where's the source that says that it failed in the holiday season? So let me know. What's the source? What are the numbers? Give me those, and I swear I'll talk about it. In February, Nintendo's going to go over their sales reviews or their sales numbers. So we'll discuss it. We'll discuss it then, what they actually officially announce. But there's no numbers for me to go over. So, I mean, you're saying I'm only glazing. I talk about the news, good and bad here. But let me know what the numbers are. What's the source? What are the numbers? What's the details? And I promise you I'll go over it. You can even be a guest star. You want to co-host? Go ahead. Arlo, Game Explain, IGN, etc. It's not hard to find. No, go in and did you watch the videos? Tell me, what are the numbers? What are the numbers for the holiday season? What's their total numbers right now? And are they going to hit their what's it called? Their goal in March? What are the numbers? You already watched the videos. Let me know. Go ahead. Let me know. What are the numbers? You said that they failed for the whole holiday season. What are the numbers at for the holiday season? For November, December's not done yet. So what are the numbers up to this point? What are the numbers? I want to know, and I'll talk about it. Let's see here. People mad it's selling well. You can still get them in stock. Like I said, about 480K units. Was that an official number? 480K units? Where's the official number for that? About 480K. And what's that for? What's that for? What region? Where was it for? And what are the total numbers right now at this point, with Japan included? So you said 480K. Nintendo sold nearly 400K just in Japan the last 2 weeks, not including what we're going to find out this week as well. So they sold about 400,000 units plus just in Japan. So are you adding that in? Is it not in with that? What are the numbers total right now at this point? Holiday season is not even over. Yeah. You misunderstood. They said November was down for everyone. Yeah. I want the actual, because like I don't think 480K is an official number from anybody. I don't think that. Are you getting that from VG Charts, a site? So yeah. Japan isn't the world, and Japan has a stupid discounted price. Japan isn't the world, but it's part of the actual numbers for the whole totality. I do numbers for worldwide. I don't just do numbers for certain regions and where you think it's failing. I do numbers for worldwide. So when we get the numbers worldwide, then we can talk about if it's failing or not, or what's going on. I don't do just segmented. I do total numbers. So back when the Switch 2 came, people like you came to my stream and told me that it was failing before we got the 10 million, because you guys watch all them. People were saying, oh man, it's not selling well. And then they sold 10 million units. Where were you then? You know what I'm saying? So guys like you came and said that it was failing beforehand, and then you got blasted when they sold 10 million. So let's wait till the actual official numbers come out, and then we can gauge if it's failing or not. You know, because guys, like, no offense to Game Explain, IGN, and all these people, or whatever the case is, but obviously they're looking for clicks, you know? So they're looking for clicks, they're looking for all that. So yeah, it was a long time coming. Okay, no problem. We'll find out. Let's see if you show up in February, rule of three. We'll see if you, I doubt you'll be here in February when the numbers actually come out. Based on my own personal internal estimates, I have it selling around 15 to 16 million units right now at this point, without the holiday season being done. So when we get the numbers in February and they're right on track to hit their 19 million, I hope you show up, okay? I hope you show up and apologize to me, just like, well, nobody actually showed up and apologized to me last time, but I was right about the numbers, the initial numbers, the 3+ million. My internal numbers were right about that. I was right about the 10 million. My internal numbers were right about that. And I'm going to be right about this too. So you think I just glaze, but it's not glaze. It's actually being knowledgeable about the business and not looking at clickbait like these other websites are looking at clickbait and all these other places. But like I said, let's see if you show up in February, because I doubt you will. You weren't here for the 10 million. You sure as hell weren't here for the 3 million. But I guess third time is. Are you guessing that third time's a charm for you? All right. So let's see who's right in February. But do you want to put some money on it? You want to actually put some money on it? You want to put some money whether they hit 15 million plus or not by the end of the holiday? Because that would put them right on track for their goal. All they got to do is sell about 1.5 million per a month after that, and they'll do that with Japan. So you want to put some money on it or no? What are we looking at here? But you said the holiday season would be amazing due to Pokemon. What happened to that? The holiday season has been really good. It has been really good because of Pokemon. So yeah, the Japanese numbers are incredible. So I was right about that. Holiday season has been pretty good. But OJ, hardware sales in the US aren't bad. They're basically all-time low for this month. Isn't that a big problem? No, it's not a big problem because the Switch 2 and PlayStation 5 and all these systems, they're not done selling. You still have next year, and you still have the year after that, and you still have many years. This is just the beginning. Guys like Rule of Three used to come to my stream when the Switch 1 first came out, and they'd say the same thing. They'd call me shill, and they say you're glazing, and they say, oh, look, the sales numbers aren't better than PS4. They would say, and they try to dominate the stream through stupidity. And like I said, I was right all throughout the Switch 1 era. I was right about the 3DS when I didn't stream, but back then people tried to say that the 3DS was going to fail. I was right about that as well. So I've been right about a lot of this stuff overall. So when I'm right about this, when it comes to next year, when there's the big Pokemon game that comes out next year and the sales are still going just fine, and when there's the big 3D Mario, and I'm right about this, I just hope you show up and apologize. I don't think that you will, but I just hope that you show up and apologize. I've gotten 0 apologies from all the people that said the same thing in the Switch 1 era, by the way. I've gotten 0 apologies from all those people, so I hope you show up then too, okay? Let's see here. So I hope you show up. Nope, still not worried about Metroid Prime 4. Nope, still not worried about Switch 2. I think the sales are actually pretty good. It's hitting my internal numbers, like I said, 15 million plus for after this holiday. So it's right on track for Nintendo to hit their 19 million by March or so. So that's what I said. So once we get the February numbers, we'll talk about it then. So nothing's actually changed. All you've done is watch other YouTubers and content creators that are clickbaiting or that are sitting there and making videos to get views. That's all you've done. So but like I said, we'll see in February. I hope you show up. But feel free to put some. Do you want to put any money on it so we can end this right now? Do you want to put any money on what Nintendo's numbers are going to be by February? Since it's selling so bad and it's not doing good and it's the downfall, are you willing to put any money on it, or are you just here to talk to me? Like I said, because I'm not going to go over this over and over. It's like we'll end it right now. So how much money do you want to put on this when it comes to the numbers in February? No, we're not talking about everybody's click. I'm not here to argue with you. Like I said, we'll find out in February. I'm going to ask you a yes or no question. Do you want to put money on the numbers in February? Yes or no? No, you don't do money on games? All right, cool. Sounds good. All right, time out then. If you don't want to do money, then that's fine. I'll see you 30 minutes from now. You can talk. So you got your talking in. I discussed it with you. You don't want to put it. You want to just come here and say I'm glazing. You don't want to put any money on it. It's failing. You want to say all that, but you don't put money on it. You're not a man of your word, bro. You're not a man of conviction. You're just trolling. It's a weak troll. So 30 minutes. If you want to, here's the thing. I don't have a problem with people coming here and talking. You want to talk, but you want to start accusing, like, oh, I'm being this, and that's fine. We can do that. But then I'm also going to get a little aggressive too. And I'm going to say, okay, well, you think that I'm just glazing and that I'm not being honest about my reporting and my numbers and what I have? Okay, fine. Then put some money on it. Be a man about it. Be a man about it. If you don't want to do that, then you're not here to actually have a real conversation then. Because then you're just here. You're just saying whatever you want to say. So, yeah. Anyway, moving on. Switch 2 has an amazing launch year. Yeah, like I said, we'll see the numbers in February. They'll show us how it did for the whole holiday season. I think it's selling pretty good based on my internal estimates for it overall. So we'll find out in February though. If it's not good, I'll tell you guys, hey, this is not good. This is what they need to do better. If it is good, then I'll tell you guys, hey, look, it's good. It's right where I thought it was going to be. Shout out to Justin with the 3.
He joined 3 days ago, and also I'll never understand why people would want it to fail. Do people want a monopoly?
He joined 3 days ago, yeah. And also, people want it to fail because they're stupid. That's why, because they're dumb. Dumb people don't understand economics. They get all of their information from YouTubers who are also stupid. You know what I'm saying? A lot of YouTubers are dumb. They don't do things based off of what they like experience. They do things based off of what's gonna generate the most buzz for their channel. They don't do things based off of knowing economics or knowing anything like that. There are no numbers right now when it comes to the sales of the Switch 2. There's nothing. There are no numbers that show outside of the Japanese sales. There are no actual numbers for Switch 2. There's VG charts, you know, but even if you go off of VG charts, it still had a decent month, even if you go off of that. And of course, if you look at the Japanese sales, it's been incredible. Like I said, it was going to be with Pokemon. It's been really good, but there's no actual numbers at all. So I can't sit here and say that it's failing and it's flopping when we have actual sales numbers for Japan that shows that it's doing really well. So I can't sit there and say that it's flopping at this point. Now, if you want to use the MPD report of, oh, it was the lowest that it's been for however many years and all of that, okay, that's fine. But that's just one November. That's not the whole October, November, December. That's not everything. So once we get everything, where sometimes Nintendo actually sells better in December than they do November, which many times they've done that before in the past, where they actually sell better, which that could be the case right now based off of what we're getting from Japan. The December numbers are better than the November numbers in Japan. So once we actually get the full picture, I'm not going to glaze if it's not doing well. If it's not doing well, say, hey, look, that's lower. Here's what they need to do to improve the numbers. I did that all throughout the Wii U era. I said, look, this is not good. Here's what they need to do to improve the numbers. I didn't just say it's not, oh, it's doing fine, it's doing fine, it's doing fine. When there was sales spikes, I said, hey, that's good, but it's still doing bad here, here, and here. I didn't do that with the Wii U. So since I didn't do that with the Wii U, I'm not going to do that here. So go back and watch the vids. They're still up. I didn't do that with the Wii U. So we ain't doing that here either. So I'm going to give you guys the numbers, how it actually is. But there's no actual sales numbers. He said 480K. He just got that from VG Charts. VG Charts is not an accurate source. VG Charts did not have Nintendo selling 10 million units back when they announced the 10. When was that? I think that was the first. When was that? Was that September? They announced that. I think it was September because it was June, July. It was June, July, August, and then I think in September. So VG Charts didn't have 10 million. They didn't have anywhere near 10 million. They were off. So that's the reason why I don't look at VG. You can't trust VG Charts because once again, VG Charts did not have 10 plus million units for the Nintendo Switch 2 worldwide. They did not. They had I think they had 5 or 6 million or something like that. So yeah, once Nintendo actually gives us the official sales numbers, I'll update you guys, all right? No glaze. It's about accurate information. It's about the good and the bad. Like I said, I know YouTube has turned into a clickbait game. It's turned into a negative game. It's turned into let's just say outrageous things. It's selling Wii U levels. That's a lie, right? Let's just make up stuff, exaggerate. That's what YouTube's turned into, but we're not doing that here. We're not doing that here. So yeah. I didn't ban him. I just timed him out for 30 minutes. So if he sticks around, he can stick around. But yeah, I don't like people. If you're going to pressure me and say that I'm glazing and make up stuff and say oh, you're just doing this. Okay. And you're saying that it's failing. I need you to be a man of your word and put your money where your mouth is. If you want to actually, get the attention of the streamer, you want to talk, then be a big man. Be a big man about it and drop some money where your mouth is. Otherwise, you're just talking. Because I'm pretty confident in what I believe in. So yeah. Like I said, I was right throughout the Switch 1 era. When it comes to the sales, we have people just like him come through. I'm talking to my supporters and the people that are here. I'm not talking to him. I don't care. But I'm talking to you guys. I don't just say things that's just positive about Nintendo if it's not positive. I'll tell you guys what's good and what's not good. I'll go over it. I'll break it down. That's what we do here. We don't, if something's not good, I'll tell you that it's not good. I'll tell you that it's not good. If it's factual, I'm not going to go off of just VG Charts or made up numbers. I don't report on VG Charts. I don't ever report on VG charts. Nobody reports. They're not accurate. They're not an accurate source of reporting sales numbers. So I report on the actual sales numbers from the companies when they give us the sales numbers. I don't report on VG charts numbers. So yeah. Shout outs to George FT with the $10 dono. It says people need to hold off on creating narratives off the one bad month where every console was down. Switch 2 already sold almost 400k in the first 2 weeks of December in Japan. Relax. That's what I'm saying. I'm seeing pretty good numbers overall. So I think with the boost in Japan, plus with, of course, holidays, I think it's actually going to be pretty decent. Sales trajectories and numbers, like I said, just like the Switch 1, they're up and down. They're wavy. I had guys like that Rule guy come here for me in the Switch 1 era and say, look, PS4 outsold Switch 1. It did bad. It's going to fail. I had the infamous debate with Rerez. Obviously, me and Rerez, who's a big content creator, we went back and forth on Switch 1 sales and if that was going to be successful or not. I was right about that. So yeah, I don't see myself being wrong about the Switch 2. And I'm definitely not going to sit here and judge the whole life of the Switch 2 on 1 month or on 2 months or on 3 months. I'm going to judge it after an extended period of time because that's how anybody with a brain would judge system sales. They don't judge it after the first number of months. They don't judge it after just 1 year. They judge it after it's been on the market for multiple years. Then you can evaluate everything. But like I said, clickbaiters and weird people that are just angry and they hate Nintendo or whatever, they're going to judge it off of month and they're going to troll. They're going to feed off of negativity or feed off of VG charts or whatever to make themselves feel good and then attack people like me who also think one way or who think this based off of factual numbers that we've actually gotten from Japan and of course the starting numbers so far. So yeah, it's all good. I'm glad Rule actually brought that up though. Honestly, it was a good conversation. I know some of you guys have been asking about that, so I'm glad he actually brought it up so we can discuss it. But yeah, don't come here and accuse me of things and say I'm glazing and then run away when I say put some money on it. If you think it's doing so bad and it's their downfall, then just put money on it. Then just put money on it, and that's easy money for you. That's free money for you then. But the reason why you don't want to do it because in the back of your mind you're a troll and you're wrong and you're going to be wrong and you are, because trust me, I know you've been around here on a different account. You've been here, by the way. You're a sock account, so I've seen you before, and you said the same thing when the Switch 2 first launched. You said the same thing before the Switch 2 sold 10 million because you watched Nintendo videos and all that. So I know you've been around, and I know this is your third swing at this. Trust me, you're gonna strike out, my boy. You're gonna strike out, and you're gonna keep striking out. And you're gonna keep striking out because obviously the Switch 2 is gonna do good enough. So yeah. So anyway, it is what it is. Thank you so much, George FT, with the combo breaks. I'm glad we had that. That got me. That woke me up a little bit. I appreciate it. We were kind of cruising till then. Yo, 1 hour extension. Let's go. Shout outs. Yeah, Troll Tax is back. Troll Tax is back. That's why I said you got to bet me. But I didn't even troll tax him. I said, yo, just get me a bet. If you're confident that it's flopping and it's not doing well, I got it at around 15 million right now. So, we'll see. I said, hey, look, the number is 15 million. Did it hit 15 million or not? He didn't want to bet. So that's how he's scared. A man's true beliefs are revealed by their actions, not their words. It's easy to claim anything, but if you're not willing to stake money on it, then you really don't believe what you're saying exactly because it's free. Man, I swear, bro, I'll stake any money on it right now when it comes down to that. I'll bet. But no, obviously nobody's going to take that bet. Let's see here. Thanks for always being a real one, OJ. Every time I see Nintendo news, I take a deep breath and wait for your take. Happy holidays, champ. Thank you. I appreciate that. I can tell your business. Glad to see you feeling better. It's 5-day respiratory virus. It's running rampant, more than the flu midway within cycle. Yeah, man. Thank you, Gamer for Life, man. I appreciate you, fam. OJ making Krispy Kreme jealous with this level of glaze. Appreciate that. What's up, Superpower Man? Welcome. What's up, Thom? Is it Thumbnails? What's up, man? I can never be a YouTuber. Being yourself is a hard thing around here. Yeah, I mean, you're never gonna. I mean, if you be yourself, it's gonna be tough. And in the gaming industry, you gotta, like I said, clickbait. You gotta say a bunch of stuff. Before the Switch 2 sold 10 million, people were also clickbaiting, saying that nobody's buying it. People made videos. People were saying all sorts of stuff that it's not selling. Remember the narrative before the 10 million, and then it died down, and now the narrative's back, right? So I've heard it before. And like I said, it's just the beginning. Nintendo has a pretty big pool of people to sell the Switch 2 to. There's still a lot of people who have a Switch 1 that haven't upgraded. So throughout the course of the generation, they're going to have to work hard to sell people to Switch 2. It's not going to be easy. It wasn't easy with the Switch 1. It's not going to be easy with the Switch 2. You got to sell people on the system. You got to have a banging direct next year. You got to have the next 3D Mario. You got to have that Monolith soft title ready. Fire Emblem needs to be good. Get the Fire Emblem fans on board. You got to get the next Kirby rolling. You got to get the next Zelda game rolling. You got to get Smash Brothers rolling. You got to get, obviously, Pokemon's going to be a big thing. You got to get potentially better, if you're not doing well, you got to get better sales and discounts in terms of things. Maybe you see into, obviously, doing another, Black Friday bundle for next year. You got to do different things. I mean, I'm a marketing guy. So once again, it's just in my nature to not panic. If something does a little bit less than what it usually does, I'm never going to panic. If my numbers if I don't make as much money as I made this month, as I made last month, I don't panic. There's times where I've been down year on year. I'm in my how much year in doing YouTube. I don't panic. I don't panic on anything. I say, okay, here's what I need to do. I need to maybe do this. I need to adjust. I need to figure out how to be more entertaining. I need to make more videos. I need to try out shorts. I got to try out more things. I don't panic with anything. So I'm not going to panic in my analysis of any business until it's factual that it's kind of cooked. Like right now on Xbox, it's factual that it's cooked. Now, when Xbox was first starting, I didn't panic then, but they did not make the right adjustments. After bad sales, they didn't make the right adjustments, so I said, hey, look, this is what they need to do to adjust so they can sell better. I didn't say they're cooked and they're dead and all that at the beginning, because once again, I come from a financial background. So that's just not in my nature to do that, because I know how businesses kind of go up and down and can go all around. You know what I'm saying? It's one of those things, but I don't even think that they had a super bad month or anything like that based off of the information, my sources that I have, based off my internal tracking, based off of what I have. Like I said, I have some sources at Best Buy, Walmart, Target, things like that. Looking at the Japanese numbers, I'm not seeing any flopping right now. Definitely could be better, sure. But I'm not seeing any flopping right now at this point. So we'll see once Nintendo actually does the official numbers, overall. Let's see here. Jose called Nintendo out on $70 games too, I remember correctly, and that's recent. I did talk about the $70 game thing, but I talked more about the $80 thing. And I did say that I don't like the fact that, what's it called was $70, like Mario Tennis and stuff like that. So I'll put my opinion in there when I feel like it. I don't work for Nintendo, so it doesn't matter. I'll be critical when I need to be, so yeah. I'll be objective about it though. Like I said, I'm not going to clickbait. I'm not going to do weird things. I'm not going to make up stuff just to say, okay, this is doing bad, so I'm going to say this. Like, I'm not going to do that. Look, listen, you could have clickbait any console this holiday period. I could have clickbait the hell out of Microsoft. I could have clickbait the hell out of anything. PlayStation 5 sales were down 40% in the US year on year with a $100 discount, which is actually a $50 discount, but whatever. They were down year on year 40% here in the US. They were down in the UK 58% or something like that in the UK year on year, and it was also discounted down to 349, I think, British pounds or something like that. And they were down year on year with Ghost of Yote, down year on year with a big discount. So did I make videos saying PlayStation, clickbaiting PlayStation? No, I didn't make a single video. I want to wait and see what Sony says. I want to wait and see what their sales numbers are. I want to wait and see. And then once they show us what it is, then I can say, okay, here's my analysis. But I didn't clickbait PlayStation either. So when people try to accuse and say I'm just for Nintendo, where did I click? I didn't do that for Microsoft. I didn't do that for Sony. I'll wait till the numbers. Now, Microsoft, we don't get numbers, so I can't say anything on that. But I can say on PlayStation and I can say on Nintendo what the numbers are. And if it's something that I feel that is a little bit low or if it's not good, I'll mention that. Is it the be all end all? Of course not. Like I said, I don't work for Nintendo. I don't work for Sony. So their numbers are their numbers. If their numbers are not good, make better games, do better discounts and sales and deals, do something to get people excited. It's a business. This is not on hopium and magic. This is not, it's not luck. It's a business. So do what you need to do to make your business be better, you know? So that's all it comes down to, man. Like it ain't rocket science, you know? It's work. You got to put in work. You got to do your best. So yeah. The trolls want your responses. They know what they're saying is wrong and they're trying to stir you up. And like I said, I have no problem giving an honest response, and I felt that I gave an honest response to him. And we'll see if he shows up in February when I'm right about it, you know. So we'll see. We'll see what happens then. Because I was right at the launch when people were saying that nobody's going to buy the Switch 2. It sold 3.5 million in 3 days. I was right after the 10 million where I thought it was going to sell like around, I think I said it's going to sell like around maybe 8 or 9 million. I think it's doing pretty good. It sold 10 million. So I was right there. Also, another person that I can also state here that has pretty good sources that seem to line up, I think his sources are better than mine, is Paul Gale Network. Paul Gale Network was the first to report that Nintendo did 3+ million in the first 3 days. Paul Gale was the first to report that overall, even before Nintendo reported it. Paul Gale reported it, and he got that right. He was also the first to report 10 million before Nintendo announced 10 million. Paul Gale also got that right. Paul Gale's also reporting that it's 15 million as of early December without some of the big numbers coming in from Japan. So like I said, we'll see, we'll see where it ties up, but Paul Gale's also reporting 15+ million early December. So we'll get the rest of this month. We'll see if they can get to 16, 17 million. That would be great. And then we go from there. Like I said, if it's below 15 million or if it's wrong, then I'll say, hey, look, they got some work to do. They're going to have to revise their forecast. They're going to have to maybe announce the next 3D Mario game. They're going to have to do some work, but it's a body of work. It's going to be a long time period. It's not going to be 1 month or 2 months, or it's going to be a long time period. And that's how generations go. A lot of people who don't know sales numbers or don't know generations and stuff, like I said, they're just living month to month. I'm not. I've been covering Nintendo and sales numbers for a decade plus. So I never do a month to month or panic or whatever. I do a long body of work, just like Nintendo's games. The Switch 2 is not going to sell just based off of Mario Kart World or based off of one game or another game or this and that. It's going to be based off the body of games that they have, an assortment of games over the course of a long time period, not just based off of 1 or 2 games. I mean, obviously you need a catalyst, you need games to really get people excited. But ultimately, if you want to get to 100 million units as a Nintendo system, you're going to need to have a lot of games over the course of a long time period, a generation, not just 1 year or at the end of 1 year. So yeah. Let's see. Yeah, I'm okay, man. Thank you. Yeah, Cyberpunk does have cross generation. Yeah, my voice is sounding better. Let's see here. Exactly when's the bet? There is no bet. He said that he doesn't bet money. He said that I'm wrong and that it's selling terrible and that I'm just glazing. So then I said, well, I think it's around 15 million and it's going to be right on track to hit their target. If they're around 15, 16 million, they got to sell 4 million in 3 months. I think it's right around that. And then he said he doesn't bet on video games. So I was like, all right, take it easy. Deuce, 30-minute timeout, because you're here to just argue, Oh, so you heard from Alex from DF mentioning uphill battle for them covering Xbox titles and videos because those get very little views, even when titles they think would draw them in. Yeah, I did hear about that. I did see something on Twitter about that. So I mean, yeah, they're an independent business. So obviously, like I said here, they got to think about clicks, right? They got to think about revenue. They got to think about clicks. So they're not going to cover Xbox because they're going to think about there's not enough. They don't get enough money from that. They have employees, they've got families, they've got, houses, they've got mortgages, they got rent. I made my decision to not cover Xbox a lot too. I made my decision a couple of years ago to not cover PlayStation and Xbox as much because it's not helping me. I'm a one-man team. They've got 4 or 5 people on the squad. I'm a one-man team. I don't have the bandwidth. I don't have an editor and multiple people to cover Xbox. Xbox doesn't do well on my channel. So I made the decision to stop that too. So they've got to think about what's in their best interest to keep them all employed now that they're not being paid by, they're not owned by anybody. So they have to do what's best for them. And what's best for them is to cover what gets them views in a respectful and good way. So Yeah, I feel what they're saying. I had to stop covering Xbox myself in videos. I had to stop covering Xbox and PlayStation. I used to do reviews on PlayStation games and Xbox games, but I had to stop because those were some of the worst performing views ever that I've ever gotten on this channel, you know, or Xbox and PlayStation games. So I'm not going to waste my time covering stuff that you guys don't want to listen to or that the algorithm doesn't think my channel is good for. Chris the Shriner Dog with the $5 dono and says, went out to GameStop and got the last Mario Kart bundle in stock for my son for Christmas. Anyway, Merry Christmas, LJ. Shout outs. Hey, there you go. It might be flopping, but at least there's one more sale right there, right? Shout outs to Chris the Shriner Dog and Merry Christmas, man. Glad that you got your son a Switch 2. He's going to be very happy about that. Thanks for checking out your Metroid Prime 4 stream. Hey, no problem, the Great Law. It's not selling bad. That guy's a liar. Yeah, like I said, we'll find out in February. Like I said, if it's not good, I'll tell you guys that it's not good, and I think that they need to do X, Y, and Z to do better, you know. But I'm not going to say, oh my God, the generation's done. They're failed. Nobody's going to buy. Like, I'm not going to do that because that's not the case. They've got a big pool of people to sell the system to. They can do it. They just got to get the games out too as well. You know, they got to get the next Mario out, get the next Zelda out, get the next Smash Brothers out, get the next Animal Crossing out, get the next Splatoon out, get those next games out, have big directs, do that. They'll sell the system. That's what they did with Switch 1. That's what they need to do here. And like I said, I don't have a problem with people saying that I'm wrong. Just make sure that you show up when I'm right. You know what I'm saying? You think I'm wrong? That's fine. You think I'm doing whatever? That's cool. Just make sure that you show up when I'm right. Show up and admit that you were wrong, which I've not had a single person show up. I've had I've had hundreds debate me on Switch 1 and not a single one of them showed up. I've had in the chats. I've had, how many people have we had over the years debate me on Switch 1 sales? Say that it's going to fall off after Steam Deck. Say that it's going to fall off after PS5 comes out. So I've had so many debates with people in the chat, and not a single one of them have came and apologized and have said sorry. So once again, I don't have a problem. If you disagree with me, cool. But show up when I'm right. Don't just show up when you think that you're right or you think that I'm wrong. Show up when I'm right. That's all I ask for. And if you don't want to show up when I'm right, then bet money so I know that you'll show up. Because if you bet money, you'll be around. You'll look. You'll wait for it. You're going to wait for your investment, your return on investment. That's why I ask people, I say bet money. Because if you don't bet money, you're just a random sock account. You can just make another account and come through as somebody else like a lot of these guys do. That's why I say bet money. Because if you bet money, you're financially tied. There's a stake on it. You can't just disappear into the void like the hundreds, if not thousands of people that called me, said I'm glazing, called me every name in the book for the Switch 1 sales, right? Where are all those people at? That's what I want to know. Where are all those people at? They're nowhere to be found. Nowhere to be found at all. After the PS Portal showed up, after the ROG Ally showed up, after the Steam Deck showed up, after how many times have people came here and pressed me on Switch 1 or even before the Switch 2 launched? How many times? How many of those people are still here? They're literally all gone. Not a single one of them. Even before the Goy guy, before the Switch 2 saying it was gonna flop, it was gonna fail. We debated and argued nights. Where are they at? They're all gone. That's why I say I need a financial commitment. So I know that you show up because you're gonna want your money. If I'm wrong, you're gonna want your money and you're gonna keep the same account because you can't use a different account and say that's you. I don't know that's you. So you're gonna keep your account, you're gonna keep you, and you're gonna show up. That's why I ask for a financial commitment. Because they just disappear. They just create sock accounts and just come back with a different name. You know, so I need a financial commitment if you're gonna come here and say that I'm glazing, that I'm wrong. I need a financial commitment so we can know that it's you. But it's all good. Estimated November sales are right in line with July, August, September, October, meaning they're fine. Just didn't see the holiday bump they usually get. Probably due to PS5 deep discounts. No biggie. Yeah. And like some of the PS5 is actually still on discount. You can still get it in some places. So do you think the main reason this is why Switch 2 isn't selling as much is because of its price? No, I don't think that's the case either. I think that it's selling pretty good in Japan. It's selling really good, but I think really it's more of like, if you're talking about like why it couldn't have done better, it's probably due to economy. That'd probably be like the thing that I would say. A little bit of an economy, PS5 deep discount, And of course, like they didn't have like that big 3D Mario or something. They had Pokemon, which was good. They got a huge bump when Pokemon came out. But I do think that some people are just like, okay, I'll hold off a bit, or I'll wait for this, or maybe I'll wait for after, whatever the case is. But I mean, it's still selling pretty good though. Like Jackson said here, the estimates and my own personal estimates have it pretty much selling right in line with what it sold before. So they just didn't get a massive holiday bump. I think they, from what I understand, they still did better than the previous months of sales, outside of like obviously like the first month or whatever the case is. But yeah, like I said, we'll find out in February. I don't think it's selling bad, and I think it's actually right on track to sell right where it's right where Nintendo wanted it to sell overall. I mean, they might revise their forecast. Maybe they revise it down to 17 million or 18 million, but they raised that forecast up from 15 million. They went from 15 million to 19 million. So they might readjust that to 17 million. But their original forecast was 15 million for the first year. They've already hit that based on my internal numbers. So that was their original forecast, was 15 million. They raised it to 19. Maybe they adjust it to 17. But either way, it was more than what they originally thought it was going to do at the beginning. So yeah. I mean, Switch 1 really isn't selling that much anymore, to be honest. Switch 2 is selling significantly more than the Switch 1, but yeah. Switch 1 beat PS4, PS5 sales for years. Sony ponies. Z. Switch 2 broke all launch sales records. Ponies. Z. PS5 won a single month. Very aggressive sales. Ponies. PS5 won. I know, seriously. I actually would like to see how Switch 1 detractors are feeling about the Switch 1 success now. Switch 1 detractors don't even exist. People purged their videos. People refuse to talk about it. People don't talk. The people that were Switch 1 haters with sales and all that, they've either deleted their channels, completely stopped talking about Nintendo or video games, moved over to other industries. Legitimately, it's like after the freaking World War II, Nazi Germany, bro. Like where all of the Führer's men were just fleeing like ants, just scattered like roaches. You know, just everybody's trying to run away and fly away to different countries, Brazil, South America. They're all looking for underground tunnels and ratways, and they're all just running and talking about Hitler. No, I don't know who that is. No, I had nothing to do with that. They all ran away and freaking said they got nothing to do with that. That's what happened to all the Switch 1 haters. I don't know where they're at. They're gone, bro. Like literally just vanished off the face of the earth, hiding out in third world countries and stuff, bro. There was a lot of them too. Those people would be all over my streams, bro. Those people would be all over my streams. Acting like they don't even know Nuremberg trials or oh man, bro, like they out here. They ran away, fam. They did not show up. They got. I mean, there was some people. They literally deleted the videos. They just stopped talking about video games altogether. Hell, I don't think Rerez even talks about Nintendo anymore. My man just. Shout out, Justin.
Consider Bayonetta 2 a Christmas game?
Yes,
Wow.
I played. If you guys want to watch, a couple Christmases ago, I actually played Bayonetta 2 on Christmas. So I do consider it a Christmas game. I do consider it a Christmas game overall. 72 on the board. Thank you so much, Justin. I remember there were so many grifters claiming Switch 2 was going to flop before it came out. Yeah. Let's see here. But it's all good. We need continuous sales like you said, so keep getting games. Yeah, exactly. I'm not worried at all. Like I said, and I'm pretty confident that there's going to be some crazy games. I think there's going to be a Zelda game revealed in the next year or so. I think there's going to be a new 3D Mario revealed next year. I think there's going to be probably a new Splatoon game revealed. I think there's going to be some really cool stuff, so I think it's going to do really well. Arnold? Arnold sounds like that. That's more like that. I remember Rerez. Yeah, Rerez was a big hater of Nintendo. big hater of Nintendo Switch 1. He was like the biggest hater in terms of like sub count. He was like the biggest hater of Nintendo Switch 1. Shout outs to Rerez. No hate towards him. Obviously, don't go hate on him. I think he's a cool dude. I think he's cool. Like I said, we're cool now. But we had a debate back in the day about Switch 1. I was a bit too aggressive. I was a bit too snappy, though. I'll be honest. But yeah, he was a big hater of Switch 1. He thought it was going to flop. But I mean, a lot of people thought it was going to flop. Like, there were articles everywhere that the Switch 1 was going to flop. It was going to fail. It was another Wii U. Like, literally everybody said it was going to flop and fail. You know, so yeah, that was the thing overall. Excuse me. Sorry, guys. Still sick. Sorry about that. These people smack talk and gloat because it's only to back them into a corner. The quarterly sales update for Nintendo Switch 2 is sitting pretty at 15 to 16. Yeah. Like I said, we'll see. We'll see. We will see. December's been pretty good so far. Like I said, in Japan, you know, I think that guy said, oh, it only sold 400K. Nintendo sold it nearly 400K in Japan alone for December, for the first 2 weeks, not including this week. If you include this week, it's probably going to be around 600K, almost 600K. So, almost got, sorry about that, guys. There's a little gnat flying around or something. But anyway, so it's going to be nearing 500, let's just say 500, half a million plus in three weeks in Japan. So I'm pretty confident that, like I said, based off of actual facts, of actual numbers from Japan, that it's doing pretty well. But like I said, we will see. If the 49ers win out, bro, 49er streams upcoming. It'd be crazy if they win the next two games. Bears game, tough. Hawks game, way tough. Yeah. I mean, the Bears game might be tougher than the Seahawks game because Niners know the Seahawks more than they know the Bears. The Bears are a new, rebuilt team, pretty much from the ground up almost, right? Like, they've got a lot of new players. They've got a new offensive scheme, a new defensive scheme, new everything for the Bears. Seahawks, like the Niners know the Seahawks. Like, they've played them already this year. So I think that the Bears game might actually be a tougher game for the Niners because the Seahawks game, they know them. So at least they can say, okay, there's this. I mean, we beat them one time earlier. But I mean, obviously that was with Bosa and with Warner and with Michael Williams. I mean, they don't have those guys now. And they barely beat them back then. But Brock Purdy's toe was still hurt. Brock Purdy's toe. But they know the players. They know the Seahawks organization. They don't really know the Bears. The Bears are more of an anomaly this year. So I do think that, yes, that they can lose the Seahawks game. Yes, you're right about that. That's a tough game. But I do think in some ways the Bears game might even be tougher because you don't know them, you know, as a team compared to the Seahawks, which you play every year, you know, for a decade plus now or whatever. Thank you. Review Tech US Income made big video. Switch 1 was gonna fail. They did. Yeah, they did make big videos. Colin Moriarty. I mean, he admitted that he was wrong though. Like, and I think Review Tech also admitted that he was wrong as well. So those guys actually admitted it. But a lot of the people that weren't as big as them just literally disappeared. Obviously, the people that are really big, obviously they didn't disappear because like they can't. But like the smaller creators disappeared. What's your sales prediction for FF7 Remake on Switch 2 launch week? I have no idea how much it's going to sell on launch week. There's no way to tell because it's an old game. It's going on 6 years old next year, you know? So there's no way to tell how well it's going to sell or not. It's a game key card. It's not an actual physical cartridge. So there's also that factor. We don't get digital eShop sales as well. So we don't get those numbers. So I have no idea. I mean, I think it's going to do okay for an old port, but there's no way to tell how much it's gonna sell. There's no way. Let's see. USC legend Caleb Williams will beat the Niners. We'll see. OJ, why did people dislike the Switch 1 in 2016? Why people disliked the Switch 1 in 2016? People didn't like the Switch 1 in 2016 because they felt that Nintendo needed to make a powerful home console. And Nintendo did not make a powerful home console. They made for the time at least, a hybrid. It was a powerful hybrid for the time, but it still wasn't necessarily as powerful as it could have maybe been, like more RAM, maybe more memory bandwidth. So people didn't like the fact that it wasn't a powerful home console in 2016. They didn't like the fact that it was Joy-Cons like Wii remotes. They didn't like that. They didn't like the fact that Nintendo didn't have big AAA games being announced for the system. You know, like we didn't see, you know, like Mass Effect, even though Mass Effect was bad, but we didn't see like upcoming big AAA games. Like that's what they didn't like about the Switch One when it was first announced. I mean, we saw an old, you know, NBA. We saw Skyrim, which was, I mean, that was incredible. People loved Skyrim, but it was still a 360 game. So that was what the people didn't really like. They saw a Mario Kart game. They saw a Mario game that we had no idea what it was. But that was the reason why initially that people were not so high on the... And also, at the presentation, I thought the presentation was pretty good. But, you know, the presentation, it was a bit weird. It was a live stream. It wasn't a direct. And, you know, they showed ARMS. They showed Splatoon. You know, they showed games that didn't necessarily graphically look that impressive. Mario Odyssey looked great, though. They did show that. But there was just skepticism because of the Wii U. Really, because of the Wii U, there was skepticism. So that's the real reason why. I mean, if the Wii U did good and then the Switch, it can be the same exact thing. Let's just say the Wii U did good and they showed the exact same Switch at the exact same time period. People wouldn't have been as skeptical, but people were skeptical because Wii U failed. That's the reason why, you know. Shout outs to the Great Walk. The test will be Rebirth because Intergrade, most people already played it. Most people already played it in Japan. Did 1 million on PS4, 507 remake, I think. Okay, yeah, we'll see how Rebirth does. I think the real test will be the Final Fantasy Remake Part 3, because that's like, okay, if that comes out day and date, then okay, it's like, okay, fair game for everybody, right? I also want Nintendo to become third party after the failure of the Wii U, which is crazy. Like, you should never want a company, you should never want less competition on the market. Like only having 2 systems is not a good idea. It's not good. You want at least bare minimum, you want 3 systems. I'd probably say 4 is better, but 3 systems would be the bare minimum in my opinion of what you want. I mean, you want at least 4 separate ecosystems. So in my opinion, PC is obviously one of them. You want, but in terms of consoles, you want at least 3 or 4 systems. So having less is not a good idea. And the reason why it's not a good idea is because then companies can kind of do whatever they want. The reason why I think the PS5 got a big discount is because the Switch 2 came out and did so hot. I think that's one of the big reasons why PS5 got a discount. So that's competition. You know, that's competition. That's good competition. You like to see that. So if the PS5 is doing really well, and if the Xbox is doing really well, and if Nintendo's doing really well, that's better for the gamers. They're going to compete more for your dollar. So having less competition and less people, that doesn't make it better. And if Nintendo did fold, and let's say Microsoft did really bad, and then now all we have is Sony, that's not great. That's not a good thing. So a lot of gamers don't think about that type of stuff, and that's fine. I don't blame you guys, you know, for some of you guys that don't think about that. You got your work, you got your family, you got your job. You're not thinking about the macroeconomics. You're not thinking about the economics and the possibilities of only having one console on the market that's dominant. That doesn't come across a lot of people's brain. All that comes across is, where's my Call of Duty? Where's my Madden? Where's my Mario? Where's my Zelda? You don't care about the other things. But like I said, I come from a financial background, and I know from a competitive background, you know, you want to have more than 1 or 2 systems that are the competitors, you know?
I'm really curious to see how RE9 does on Switch 2.
Yeah, me too. I'm very curious to see how that does as well. I think it should do okay. Game key card, but I think it should do good, you know? So that's in any field. And I'll also say this, Justin, thank you for the 3. Let me ask you a question. Do you want only one place for hotels? Like when you look at hotels, do you only shop at one place? You want multiple hotels, so they're competitive. Do you want only one place to buy clothes? Do you want only one place to buy food? Do you want only one place that sells cars? Do you want only one place that sells houses? Nobody wants only 1 or 2 places that does anything when it comes to economy. But when it comes to video games, sometimes gamers turn off their brain and think that, oh, this is fine. I'll be fine. It'll be great. Nothing will be wrong. But you don't want 1 or 2 people that do anything. Do you want only 1 or 2 streamers? No, you want a variety, and you want to pick who you want to watch. Do you want only one or two people doing anything when it comes to any business? Nobody wants that. Nobody wants that. But for some reason, some gamers want companies to fold. Microsoft or Nintendo, they want them to fold, and we have less competition, which, once again, makes zero sense. It makes no sense whatsoever, you know? So yeah. I feel like third-party support for Switch 2 is better with newer games and better performance, but I am wrong. I'm losing context from 2017. But am I wrong? I'm losing the context. The Switch 1 didn't have the same third-party support that Switch 2 has. It's much better on Switch 2 at launch and in the coming months than Switch 1 had. Switch 1 didn't get a third-party AAA game till 7 months later. It literally got 0 third-party AAA games until, I think, Doom 2016 came out. And that was like the only current gen game that was on the platform, but it took all year for it to get to that point. I mean, Switch 2 launched with, you know, current and last gen AAA third-party games, bigger games. So that's the big difference, you know, between Switch 1 and Switch 2. So many people say that they just like Nintendo software, but always contend that I value Nintendo hardware just as much. Who else is innovating with console like Switch 2? Yeah. PS4 players actually migrated to Switch and Switch 2 rather than PS5. I think there's some truth to that for sure. Emulators' dream come true would be all Nintendo games become playable on PC. Yeah, once again, but that's not good for the economy. That's not good for competition-wise and all that type of stuff. But I mean, you can't really emulate Nintendo games right now. But I mean, yeah, I think that's what PC emulators. But those people are the small factor of most gamers. Most gamers are not emulators, are not people that do emulation. So, is it even possible to save the Xbox brand at this point? Genuine question. It's not possible to save like the exclusive console branding for Xbox, but can Xbox still make consoles? Sure, they can make a PC box. They can make a Steam Deck or a Valve Steam machine, right? They can make a Steam machine type thing, and they can just sell that and sell it in low quantities, you know, and just go off of that and then sell a lot of their games. That's what they're gonna do. So, but I mean, is the traditional sense of like the Xbox, the original Xbox, the Xbox 360, the Xbox One, is that type of console dead? Yes, that's pretty much not here. But can they still make an Xbox device? Sure. PS and PC being the only choices of playing games would be such a drag. It's like WWE post Monday Night Wars. Yeah, you don't want that. But even still, to this day, WWE has competition with AEW. It has, I don't know if TNA is still around, but there's competition. Like, there are other wrestling promotions. There are other things. Now, yes, WWE is the biggest and the you know, has the biggest stars and pays the most money, but there's still other things out there. Like, you don't want it to only be WWE. Like, there still are other indie circuits and other presentations that you can go watch. Like, I don't want it to be only, like, do you want only one internet service provider or only one, you know, place to buy cell phones or only a couple places? You want options. You want different options so you can gauge what's best for you. And also so they can compete. You don't want things to be funneled down just to one or two different companies. Especially because if one of those companies flames out, the other company is going to be able to, you know, gather in all the business, you know? Only Valve, Steam shills are in favor of monopolies. Nintendo and Sony, Microsoft fans understand the importance of competition. Yeah, that's what I've seen. I've seen a lot of PC people that are, and like Valve people that just don't want anything else. They just want that because Valve has an essential monopoly on PC gaming. Like, it's not a real monopoly, but it's like, they've got a lot of the PC market. Like, they've got a lot of it. So Valve people do not care because they see that, hey, look, I get what I want whenever I want, even though you don't. But hey, look, the impression is that, like, for example, the Steam Deck. Like, are you getting a $400 Steam Deck? Well, no, they got rid of that. But hey, it's okay. It's okay. That doesn't matter. I still have my Steam, right? Steam OS. I still have Steam, even though they just kind of brushed that aside. A lot of the Steam PC people, you know, they were really crazy about the Switch 2 pricing, but seem to have decided to not really care about the fact that there's only Steam Decks for $550 and up. All of a sudden, pricing is not that big of a deal now. And all of a sudden, they used the whole $400 Steam Deck for a while now against Switch 2. Now that that's gone, that Valve's no longer selling it, directly, I guess that's not a big deal. But yeah, that's why I don't really care about PC people, because once again, you can't put them in the same sense of a console gaming. They don't care about competition at all. They don't mind Valve having a monopoly because they get what they want, and it's all about what they want. It's not about what anybody else wants. It's about what they want. So yeah, that's why I don't regard PC people as any real factors in a real discussion. At least hardcore PC people, I don't regard their opinion on this, because their opinion is, I buy everything on Valve. Valve's the best. I don't care, So you can't really regard what they think. They don't know anything about competition in business. All they care about is Gabe Newell and Valve and yachts and stuff like that. Let's see here. Oh, TNA is partnered with WWE now? Okay. You want just one flavor of ice cream. There you go. WWE and TNA are owned by TKO. So, yeah. What I would also worry about is Nintendo were to go third party, say goodbye to chances of Star Fox, Metroid, F-Zero games in the future, only Mario, Zelda, Pokemon. They'd probably refocus on just what's successful, obviously. They'd have to fire a lot of people too. They'd have no console R&D division team, so there'd be a ton of layoffs. A lot of people would lose their nice paying jobs too. So there's also that. Hey, what's up, Shaw X? Welcome to the stream. Valve glazing is kind of annoying, but let them be happy. I won't complain. I don't have a problem with anybody, honestly. I don't have a problem with anybody glazing whatever. You can like whatever you want to like. I don't care. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't care about that at all. I don't care what other people like. If you like something a lot and you want to create a content or channel around it, that's fine. Just don't be psycho. Don't be a schizo. Like I said, it only gets to the skit. Like when you start being schizo and start attacking people for liking something else, or liking something that you feel impedes on what you like, or you have some type of moral crusade that's completely stupid and absolutely brain dead. Like a lot of these content creators have some type of moral crusade against certain companies or against certain things. That's completely bogus, and it's completely hypocritical when their favorite piece of plastic or their favorite company does the same thing. They have nothing to say, or they have very little to say on that topic, and they will go after other people. So that's the only thing that I have an issue with, is like when these PC people do that. If you love Valve the most, like I said, I'm big friends. I mean, Evan, he's a big Valve guy. I don't go after Evan and his channel and what he says. He doesn't like Nintendo. He doesn't care about Nintendo and all that place. But he's not a schizo. He's not a PC schizo. He doesn't do all that. He paints his little damn things. He talks about PC when it's relevant to him and on the Spawncast. And that's that. And that's how the large majority of Valve PC people are. It's the schizos that I have an issue with, The large majority of PlayStation fans, of Xbox fans, of PC fans, of Nintendo fans, just like what they like and keep to themselves. It's the schizos that have to go after and attack things like crazy because they need to make money, or because they have a mental disability. Those are the people that are, like I said, that I'm talking about. I'm not talking about regular PC people. I'm not talking about regular Nintendo fans or PC people, or regular, like if I say like Pokemon schizos, right, or crazy Pokemon fans. I'm not talking about just normal people that just like the brand or like whatever. I'm talking about the people that are insane, and that go above and beyond to do weird, hypocritical, weird things online, talk down on other people, say, why are you playing that? You should play this. I don't got to play a damn thing. I'll play whatever I want. You know what I'm saying? Like, come tell me to my face. That's the only way that I'll take anybody seriously. Come tell me to my face. And your breath better not be smelling. I'll smack you. No, I'm joking. But like, if you got a problem with people buying something, why don't you go protest and pick it outside or something like that? Or go convince people. Go on a tour and convince people. Go to GameStops and convince people not to buy Nintendo. Like, if you really are that about it, why don't you go do something? Instead of being, like I said, a schizo and making up stuff online. So that's all I say, is like, I don't do that to PC people. They buy whatever they want. I don't like PC like that. I don't like Steam machines and Steam decks and all that type of stuff. I don't like all that, but that doesn't mean I'm going to stop people from buying it. I'll even recommend it if I find out what they want. Hey, what are you looking for? Are you looking for emulation? Are you looking for, PC? Like, do you have Steam already? Are you a PC gamer? Okay, well then yeah, Steam Deck might be good for you because you can play your games and you can buy the game once and maybe it might work, it might not work. You got to test it, but whatever, right? Like that might be good for you. Just because I don't like something a lot, I don't like Steam Deck, I don't like PC. That doesn't mean I'm gonna stop somebody else from enjoying it or liking it just because I have an issue with how they do things there. Like that, and that's what I'm saying. Like the PC schizos, they have an issue and they have some type of moral crusade that's completely bogus. That's completely, it's nonsense, you know? So so yeah, that's how I see it, man. I'm not trying to inhibit people from enjoying whatever they like. Enjoy I got a PS5 Pro. I got a PS5 right here. I'm not trying to inhibit people from buying PS5 or liking it, from liking Xbox, from like and play whatever you want. I don't care. Enjoy, have fun. I'm not you. I'm not in your life. I'm not in your business like that, you know? So I don't really care. Play whatever you want. So that's like when people make comments on I see comments on my videos of people saying, "Oh, well, I play this." I'm like, bro, I don't care. You're just a random person. I don't care what you play. Why am I worried about what grown men and women play like that? If you want to come talk to me about stuff, we can come talk about it. But I don't care about random people on Twitter or whatever. If they don't like, okay, they don't like it. So what? I don't like jelly-filled donuts. Am I going to go stop people from eating jelly-filled donuts? No, I don't care. I don't care if you like jelly-filled donuts. Go ahead and eat yourself into a diabetic stupor. I don't care. Go eat yourself to whatever. Do whatever you want. Go eat yourself into go eat yourself fat and obese for all I care. Eat as much as you want. If you want health advice, I got my bachelor's degree in kinesiology. I'll give you some health advice if you want it. But I don't care what you do or what you like. If you like that, if you want to go eat ice cream till you keel over, hey, look, I'd advise you not to, but that's your deal. That's you. I'm not you. I'm not in your life. I'm not in your business like that. So I'm not going to be in people's business in terms of what games they play or what they like or go on some type of moral crusade against a company because they do something that I don't like or that I think is anti-consumer. I think that's weird. That's goofy. It's goofy, really weird behavior, in my opinion, at least. I don't do that. There's a lot of things that are anti-consumer. If I don't like something, then I don't buy that thing. That's it. That's it. I don't need to go on like a mission, like I'm knocking on door, like I'm a Mormon mission, knocking on people's doors or something, trying to convert for something. Shout outs to the Mormons out there. I used to go to a Mormon church back in the day. But yeah, man, like I'm not gonna sit there and I'm not an evangelical or whatever. You know you guys get what I'm trying to say, right? Like I'll play what I play. I like what I like. Whatever you like what you like. Cool. You know, that's it. That's it. It is what it is. So it says Brian cancer, I'm on a disability. Oh, I'm sorry that Boxer, do you really have that? I'm very, very sorry if that's the case, man. I hope you get your treatment and I hope you're doing okay, man. I think you'll heal up though. I'm gonna pray for you, brother. When is the direct? Nintendo usually has their directs in February or March. That's usually when the time that they have their big directs. The only thing I want to convert is third downs. Yeah. Yo, shout outs Velvet. Yeah, I'm getting better. I'm feeling better. I'm feeling better already. So yeah, let me get this another thing right here. So yeah. Shout outs to V. When do you think there's going to be more details on Dust Bloods? Probably at the Nintendo Direct in February or March. I think we're going to get more information. We might get like a video or like a deep dive or like something on that before then, but I do think that they're probably going to show it off at that next Nintendo Direct. So yeah, that's when I think that we're going to probably get it. But we'll see. There might be something before then. I wouldn't be surprised if we get like a video or we get like a trailer, or like a direct focused on Dust Bloods or something early next year. Dust Bloods will be good. I don't know if it's going to be good or not. Most From Software games do well with fans. So even like Elden Ring Night Rain, a lot of people actually are starting to like that game in terms of like, you know, what it does You know, it's a multiplayer focused game. I'm just hoping for Dustbloods you can play it kind of like single player and enjoy it too. It's not just like a multiplayer thing. So that's what I'm hoping for it overall. So yeah, we'll see. Stage 4 throat cancer. I'm doing well though. My throat is good, but I'm dealing with some pesky skin stiff down. Oh, I'm sorry to hear about that, boxing rider. Yeah, just keep doing what the doctors say, man. And like I said, I'm praying for you, brother. Hopefully you pull through. I think you will, though. I'm gonna pray for you, man. Let's see here. Shout outs to Dan Dips. People out there thinking that they're superior because they play something different as well. That's what I'm saying, Dustin. That's what I'm saying too. It's weird, bro. It's weird behavior. It's really weird behavior. You know, I don't do that, but you know, whatever. It is what it is. Like I don't really care. You know, one way or another. If you guys have questions too, you can tag me at PlayerEssence, hashtag PlayerEssence. We are only 25 combos away from extending the stream. Hopefully, my voice can hold out. We got it now. Or actually, my bad. 25 combos away from the Platinum Streak 85. My bad. We've extended the stream, but hopefully my voice can hold out. Overall, I hope my voice can hold out. So we'll see. I'm doing my best. Of Metroid Prime 4 Beyond, I think it'll get Game of the Year noms next year. Metroid Prime 4 Beyond will not get Game of the Year nominations next year. Absolutely not. It is not high enough rated to get Game of the Year nominations. I do not think so. OJ, what game will be the last announcement for the February Direct? I think they had a 3D Mario. They'll wait till June. I think a 3D Mario game, yeah, they could wait till June. If you just go back and if you look at how they advertised Mario Odyssey, they advertised Mario Odyssey at the beginning of the year, but obviously they were selling the system. That was going to be the big game, and you know, they're coming off the Wii U and the 3DS slow launch. So I think they had like an obligation to show Mario and Zelda. But I do think that with this 3D Mario game, yeah, they could do it like they did with Super Mario Wonder, where it's a very short announcement to, you know, to launch. But I do think that maybe if their sales aren't quite where they want it to be, I think that they actually might push that announcement up. I do think that that is a game that they will adjust if they have to adjust. If it's coming out next year and they know it's coming out next year, they clearly have footage ready to go to show off. So if the sales numbers in February aren't necessarily where they want it, which Nintendo knows where their sales numbers are right now, and they're still tallying it. We still have, you know, another, Christmas is this week, so people are still buying Switch 2s. They're still picking them up. I'm seeing people still get them. Obviously, they're still moving. Amazon, still selling on Amazon as well. So people are getting their Switch 2s. So this year is going to conclude. We still got next year. People are going to get after Christmas presents. People are going to get gift cards. They're going to take their gift cards and go buy Switch 2s, right? As well, and PlayStations and other systems and other things. So once we get to December 31st, right? And then we get to January, Nintendo will know how things are shaking out. And I think that's when they'll really plan exactly when what they're gonna have. They already have an idea of what they're gonna show in their February Direct. They're already putting certain things together and getting third-party games and stuff like that. But I think that they're gonna really base it off that. If they feel that they need a real big push for, you know, for the Mario movie, for the system, they're gonna show that Mario game. I think if they don't have another big hitter to show, right? Because they ended on Fire Emblem last time. Obviously, if you're trying to increase sales expeditiously, Fire Emblem's not going to be the game to show at the end. I mean, I love that game, and it's a great game. To me, it's a great ender for the first year because they already have Mario Kart, they already have Donkey Kong, they already have, you know, Hyrule Warriors, they already have a bunch of other games. So it's like to show Fire Emblem fans, okay, go out there and buy a Switch 2, you know? But this upcoming year, obviously they have no big games dated. Like, we don't know about any big games. We knew about big games last year. We don't know about any big, we know about big games. Yes, we have like Splatoon and we have Mario Tennis and we have all those games, but we don't know about the fall holiday lineup, right? So I think that Nintendo could adjust and move that Mario game to February or the March Direct if they feel that they need a bit more of a push and some publicity. If everything's in order and they've got a good game to show, so if they want to end on like Splatoon 4, or if they want to end on, you know, something else that they have, maybe they have a new Star Fox that's coming out in like summer or fall, or they have a new F-Zero, or they have a new something else, right? Maybe they want to end on that. That's fine. I mean, I wouldn't end on those games. But if they want to, like I said, maybe they'll do that. Maybe they'll end on like a different franchise, right? And they'll show off other games. Remember, they still have like set showcase games too. Like they have about 4 of them every where they show off. It could be a third-party game or a first-party game. Beginning of the stream to not halfway, but yeah, maybe about beginning of the stream, about a third of the way through the stream, like it's like beginning of the stream, second part of the stream, 3/4 through the stream, and then like the end, the one more last thing. So so yeah, definitely. I mean, with the last Nintendo Direct, they actually had 2 more big, like one more last things, because nobody was expecting Resident Evil Requiem. That was like a 2-part, one more last thing, because Resident Evil Requiem is important as hell. Like I talk about this all the time. This is one of the most important third-party games ever in Nintendo history. And I know I don't want to cap, but it's very, very, very important. Like in modern history, this is one of the most important third-party games for Nintendo. Easily would be Resident Evil. Resident Evil's a 10 million seller. It's a credibility game. It's a storied franchise. It runs good. It looks good. This game needs to do well, right? So I think that, at the last Direct that they had Fire Emblem and they had Resident Evil. So that was a little bit of a 2-parter. So we could see that. That could be a new thing for Nintendo, because they have better third-party games than they had in the Switch 1 era. Switch 1 era, they had a lot of old third-party ports. Old games, indie games. Go back and watch their directs from the Switch 1 era. Woo, interesting to watch, right? They were good directs, don't get me wrong, but the third-party announcements were questionable at times, for sure. They had some good ones, but a lot of them were questionable. With the Switch 2, the third-party announcements are already better. So, I mean, could we get a 1-2, like a Expedition 33 to 3D Mario? That's a good one, if they can get that done. Expedition 33 to 3D Mario, or maybe what's another big game? I mean, listen, a GTA to Mario, that would be schizo. That'd be nutty. GTA to Mario, there'd be so many memes of like the robot chicken GTA Mario memes. So I think that that's possible too, that they're going to start doing 1-2, one last things where you get like a big third party that you wouldn't expect, or that now that's coming day and date. I mean, like Pragmata, that's another one that was not a one more last thing, but like that'd be like a Nintendo one more last thing third party announcement, like Resident Evil was. So, I think that that's possible too for their directs coming up, where you get like a third party, double up one more last thing, like a game that we already know about third party wise, but it's now it's coming to Nintendo system day and date, or now it's coming overall. We have Project M, but I doubt they'll finish that. I doubt they'll finish on that. Yeah, we'll see. I don't think they'll finish on that. No. I think from software fans like Nintendo, they make games in a similar way, in my opinion. Do they? I don't know if that's the case. I mean, I don't know from software fans like Nintendo. I've seen a lot of from software fans say that that they're pissed they gotta buy a Switch 2, or they're not gonna buy a Switch 2 for Dust Bloods, but they're definitely gonna buy a Switch 2 for Dust Bloods. And if you're a big From Software guy. OJ, what will be the last announcement of the February? Okay, I already read that. My bad. Dust Bloods, let's go. I think it might be before, especially if they're going to have an early online playtest. Yeah, that's true, Superpower Man, and it could be that. From Software fans, still buttered Nintendo has its own Souls game. Yeah. Now that I'm about 60% through Metroid Prime 4, I can safely say reviewers are full of crap. Their complaints are overblown, especially about the Talk NBC. I mean, there's some stuff that happens later, but yeah, I think that I don't think that it's anywhere near as bad, and I don't agree with the it being the same review score average as Metroid Other M. That's insane. So yeah, I agree that. I mean, my review, I gave it a 9 out of 10. I felt it was right around there. I think it was anywhere between a 9 out of 10 and like 8.5 to 9 out of 10. That's kind of like my review scale that I have it, but hey, it is what it is. Let's see here. I doubt RE9 will do that good on Switch 2. Modern RE has always been away from Nintendo platform for decades. Yes and no. So Modern RE, when you're talking about Modern RE, has it been away? Yes, it's been away. but I do think that a lot of the people that like RE are also Nintendo fans. Now, the reason why I say that is because I obviously follow a lot of Nintendo fans, obviously, like YouTube channels, things like that. Or even Resident Evil fans, people that like Resident Evil. And a lot of them have Switch 2s or like Nintendo games. Capcom in general is liked by Nintendo fans. So I think Resident Evil in particular can actually do really well. Yes, there hasn't been a mainline big new Resident Evil game that wasn't a cloud version or something weird like that on Nintendo platforms for a while. But I don't think it's something to where Nintendo fans have just been away and they don't know about Resident Evil. I think a lot of Nintendo fans buy Resident Evil. And I think there's a lot of Nintendo fans that that grew up playing Resident Evil on GameCube, you know, and that, hey, look, it's back. We back, right? A lot of the people that are into Nintendo right now started in the GameCube era. Well, what was on the GameCube era? Resident Evil 0, Resident Evil, the Resident Evil remake, right? So I do think it's very much pop. And there was also some of the older Resident Evil games they put on like a collection, right, or something like that. I don't remember, but whatever. They had Resident Evil games. There was Resident Evil on the 3DS. There was Resident Evil on the Switch. You got to remember, yes, we don't have modern Resident Evil, but there is a thirst for Resident Evil. Resident Evil 6, that crusty game sold 1 million copies plus on the Switch. Resident Evil 5 did good on the Switch as well. If I'm not correct, those both sold 1 million copies plus on the Switch. Resident Evil Revelations. So it's not like Nintendo fans have not been buying Resident Evil on the Nintendo platform. They've been buying it. They've been buying what's available, what's been offered to them. What's been offered to them is older games. So they're buying the older games. But I don't think it's a foregone conclusion that they will not buy Resident Evil 9, especially, and the reason why I'm saying that is because who is the star of Resident Evil 9? Leon S. Kennedy. What's the most infamous Resident Evil game of all time? Well, not infamous, but I would say the most popular Resident Evil game of all time. It's Resident Evil 4 by a country mile. What system was that on when it comes down to it? GameCube. It launched on GameCube. So I don't believe that there's a disconnect between Resident Evil sales and Nintendo. I think a lot of Nintendo fans go out there and they buy on what's available, what they have. I have a PlayStation. I'm obviously a big Nintendo fan, clearly. A lot of you guys are. A lot of you guys went out and bought Resident Evil 7, bought Resident Evil 8, bought Resident Evil 4 Remake. You're like, oh, well, it's not on Nintendo platform. That's fine. I'll buy it on my Xbox. I'll buy it on my PC. I'll buy it on my PlayStation. So I disagree with that. I disagree with that assessment based off of, like I said, the people that I talk to, people that I see. Everybody that I know on the Spawncast, obviously all Nintendo fans, they all play Resident Evil. John plays Resident Evil. RGT plays Resident Evil. MVG plays Resident Evil. Nate plays Resident Evil. And we're all big Nintendo fans, but we all play Resident Evil as well. So I think that there's going to be some interest amongst Nintendo fans to buy Resident Evil, to see how it plays and runs, and to have that anywhere that you want. So I'm going to disagree with that assessment. And like I said, but they're still buying Resident Evil on Switch 1. How did Resident Evil 6 sell 1 million copies plus? If they just want all the highest resolution and frame rate and all that, why did Resident Evil 6 sell so well? Why were people still buying Resident Evil 5? Why were people buying Resident Evil Revelations on the 3DS and on the Switch? I mean, that's a 3DS game. People were buying that on the Wii U, Switch 1, and the 3DS. And those games don't have the best graphics and all that. So they still sold. There was still an audience for that. So I'm going to disagree. I'm going to disagree. Hey OJ, how can you how can you get off the bench? I don't know what that means. Resident Evil games just feel right on Nintendo. I think it's a natural fit personally. Like I said, I still bought it, but even though Switch never got a big new Resident Evil games, I still bought Resident Evil on Switch. I bought Resident Evil 4 again. I bought RE5. I bought RE6. I bought RE Revelations. Like, I still bought all the Resident Evils that were available to me to buy on Switch, you know? So yeah. Already pre-ordered Requiem. I love Resident Evil, and yeah, I pre-ordered Requiem on Switch too. Yeah, I pre-ordered Requiem on Switch too. I know Doc Trey did it. I know John's gonna buy it on Switch too. I know they're content creators, so you can't just base it off of them. But I'm seeing a lot of people in the comment section in my videos when I talk about Resident Evil. The videos do well. I get good views on Resident Evil on my channel. Like, I think Nintendo fans are down with buying Resident Evil, and I think they know the assignment. I think they know the assignment. Guys, this is something that if you're into Resident Evil and you want to see more, obviously, you know, buying it on Switch 2 would be good for that. But I mean, buy it on the platform that you want to buy it on. Like if you want that 4K 60 or you want that extra frame rate or resolution, buy it on that platform. Buy what makes you happy. You know, if you want a portable experience that you can play anywhere that you want, then obviously Switch 2 version would be the one to go with. If you have, you know, disposable income, then you can buy both, you know, if you want to. You don't have to, even if you do have disposable. You don't have to, but if you want, you can do that, you know. Hopefully there's cross-save. If they do cross-save, I think that dramatically improves the sales numbers across PlayStation 5 and Switch 2. I think that'll be a winning combo. You'll literally force people that like Nintendo and PlayStation or that have a PS5 and a Switch 2 to simply say, wait a minute, I can do cross-save. I'll just buy the PS5 version and I'll buy the Switch 2 version. Like literally, it is a money glitch. You will get, I would say, this is just me guessing and I have no sales, but I think you'll get 10 to 15% more sales off the top if you do cross-save between PS5 and Switch 2. I think there will be at least 10% of people that want to, like I said, that's just a made up number, guys. I'm just throwing that out there. But I think that it's a percent that'd be worth the investment of doing cross-save. I think that would be big for day and date and cross-save. You're gonna get people that are just gonna say, okay, I'll buy both. Or I'll buy one now and I'll buy one later, you know? So when maybe there's a discount or a sale or something. So I got the triple pack as well. I'm not even a hardcore fan either. Okay, yeah. I got the triple pack too. I hope I'm wrong, but yeah, RE9 sells great on Switch 2. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens. I think yes, PTSD from Bloodborne. Oh, he's talking Superpower Man. Okay, somebody got upset. One guy straight up said he hopes Dust Bloods fails in a video because it was exclusive to Nintendo. Yeah. Excuse me. I don't know what every From Software fan thinks, though. I can't sit here and act like I know what every single From Software fan feels or, you know, anything like that. But hey, you know, we'll see. You know, we'll see what happens when it comes down to that. You know, we will see overall. We will see. Let's see here. Salty, yeah, he's a little salty. I bet OJ can get at least a 500 off the bench. You mean bench press? Okay. No, I cannot do 500 off the bench press. No. My last known bench press, Roger, was back in the last time that I maxed in bench was in 2010. My last year playing football at Fresno State, or when I was at Fresno State, I wasn't on the team, but my last year I was trying to play football. I was getting ready to try to play professionally. I was benching 345. That was my max that I did at the bench press, was 345. That's the most that I've ever done. I've never done more than 345 on a bench press. So, yeah. My squat though, my best squat was I think 5. It was pretty good. 595, almost 600. 550. It was over 500. It was like 500 something. I did that at also at Fresno State at the rec. I think I squatted around 4 plates, 495 plus a 10, probably about 550. I don't know about 595. 550 on squat. So yeah, I was pretty strong back in my day. Not anymore though. I can't bench press anywhere near 345. I'd be lucky to get up 300 right now. The 350. I don't think I can even bench press 315 right now. I think my best bench press would probably be about maybe like 260, 270 maybe. If I'm, like I said, if I really work out and get ready, I could probably do about maybe 250 to 270. That's probably where I'm at, you know, right now. Squat, I don't think I can. I mean, I tore my ACL and I never got it fixed, so my knee's shot. So I don't think I can squat more than like 315 right now. Like 315. Maybe if, like I said, if I get prepped, put some knee wraps on, I could probably do about 400 something. But like I said, that'd probably even be. I don't know if I can even do that, to be honest. So yeah, I'm getting old. Let's see here. I mean, when you work out every single day, it's not. I mean, there's obviously people that have benched a lot more than me. 345 is. I mean, it's good, but it's not that great, you know. But yeah, I mean, I was working out literally every day. I mean, all I did was go to school, go to school, come back, do my homework, go to the gym, come back, eat chicken, protein, play a video game, or watch some TV or watch YouTube, then go to sleep. I did that for 4 years or 3 years at Fresno State. So that's all I did was, go lift, eat, come back, watch, play video games, lift, eat, play video games, school. That's all I did. So I was able to get pretty strong. Also high school. I did a lot of lifting in high school as well. So yeah. At the end of the day, benching 345 doesn't get you a job. Exactly. Benching 345 does not get you a job. I'd rather be more proficient at knowing power director 365. My bench press isn't 365, but my power director skill is pretty good. I can bench press power director 365. I'm pretty good with power director. So I'm actually more interested in that 300 number than I am in my bench press number. Yeah. So give me power director 365 instead, because that's how I used to stream or to edit and thumbnails and all that stuff. So I'll take power director 365 over 345. I think people are too close-minded when it comes to games and don't want to play something outside of their comfort zone. That's why people say they won't buy a console for one game when it has a library. Yeah, I think that's also some of the case too, Felipe. Well, no, 345 back a decade plus ago, so not at my age now. I can't bench 345 now. 345 20 years ago when I was in college. 20 years ago in college, I benched 345. Not now. I can't bench 345 now. Do you like weightlifting more than cardio? I like cardio more than weightlifting. So I like to run a lot. So yeah. I used to like weightlifting more than running though. Back in the day, I used to like weightlifting a lot more than running. Let's see here. Is it IOR or it's juniors? I don't know how to say it. I don't know how to say your name. Eor. I probably said that wrong. My bad. Junior. I'm double dipping. I'm playing it on PS5, but I'm also buying the Switch 2 bundle that comes with 7, 8, just to have it for my collection. There you go. There are From Software fans begging for new Kingsfields games. Those are the games they made. Was that PS1 era or PS2 era that they made those Kingsfield games? I think I watched the retrospective on those games back in the day. I'm about to be 48 and 200 is my limit. Yeah, at that age, 200 is about... You start becoming your limit when it comes to what you're doing and all that, man. But it's all good, like as long as you don't really need to bet. Like 345 doesn't really do anything for you. I mean, obviously you want to be muscularly strong, but you don't have to bench 345. Like 345, once again, or 500 isn't going to get you anything. Somebody that benches 500 isn't more healthier than somebody that benches 200. It's about your muscle endurance and your muscle strength as you get older. So if you're someone that has been lifting weights your whole life and you've benched nowhere near 345 or 500 pounds, that's okay. That doesn't mean somebody that does more is healthier than you. You just need good muscle endurance. So I always recommend people, hey, you don't need to, max out at 300 plus pounds. You can do lower weight. You can do 225 and rep that, or you can do 175 and rep that and just do, 30-pound curls and do overhead weights and do, do different type of lifts. And you can be muscular, like, aerobically strong. You can be endurance-wise really good. And as long as your muscles have good muscle endurance where you can, you can pump, let's just say 170, you can pump that 10 times or something like that, or you can pump 150 multiple times, or as long as you have good muscle endurance as you age, that's more important than having explosion, like what's my max bench, So yeah. Yeah, I think it was like a PS1 game, right? Yeah. I watched the retrospective on that game from back in the day. So yeah. Excuse me. Give me 1 second here, guys. the struggle to mute my mic right before I was about to sneeze. Right about to sneeze. The struggle to mute my mic. So, anyway. Side outs though, guys. If you guys have questions, feel free to tag me at PlayerEssence, hashtag PlayerEssence by itself. More than happy to answer your questions. So we can get those going too. Let me see if there's any other information that I missed out on. If you want to talk about the Nintendo Direct for next year, obviously big games that you're looking forward to and anticipating. Yeah, all that good stuff. So feel free to let me know in the chat. More than happy. More than happy. Answer questions. CD Projekt said that they'll let people who bought Cyberpunk for 17 USD keep it. Yeah, they should. And I don't think they even could take it back, even if they wanted to. There's too many people. They'd have to rescind, like literally, like I'm like no joke. I think like 50 or 60,000 people bought the game yesterday. Plus, I think like literally, I think it sold 50K plus in like a second. Like when you guys were telling me about that yesterday, I legitimately think here in the US, I legitimately think like 50 to 60,000 people bought the game instantly right there. Like, or more than that. Usually sales are, you know, over the course, maybe you sell, you know, 10K, 20K, 50. I think their sales literally quadrupled, or not quadrupled. I think it was like 20 or 30 times more than what they were selling. They're not going to refund all those people. That's insane. Like I said, I think it sold 50K in like a second, in like a day. So yeah. Will they reveal DLC for Mario Kart? Controversial move. I think they're going to reveal DLC for Mario Kart, but I don't know if it's going to be paid DLC. It might be free DLC. You know, we don't know. I think they're going to reveal maybe 200cc mode as well. So yeah. So absolutely. Excuse me. They probably made more money selling it for 17 than they were making it selling it for 42. Well, you got to sell a lot more copies, but yeah, I think that obviously the amount that they were making probably exceeded the pace they were at selling it for 42. Yeah, I mean, if you have a sale, obviously, I mean, what's funny is like if Nintendo ever decided to do something like that, what if there was ever a glitch within like a Nintendo game? I think that would be crazy. You would have even that times like 10.
They already confirmed that people can keep it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they weren't going to go through. I mean, they could redact it, but they're not. I don't think they're going to go. They're not going to go through the trouble of doing all that. Like it's just keep it, play it. I mean, it's also good positive PR. You know, I mean, Nintendo's also had price messes up for like, you know, certain things that we can get it for cheaper. Not on the eShop. I don't think anything on the eShop, but they've had it for like on their store before and stuff. And I think they just let people keep it overall. So yeah, I do think that it's a good idea. Just like let them keep it. You know, unless it's something like it's like $1, like where like it's like an egregious price error. Yeah, don't let them keep that. But maybe if it's like, you know, $17, whatever, right? So whatever, it is what it is on that one. So yeah. So it is what it is on that one, you know? I'd love to see OJ and the Hodge twins put a few plates on that bar. I would never do anything with the Hodge twins. That's insane. But yeah, I would never, ever collaborate with those two. But I think you're just talking about us separately. Okay. But yeah, don't put me in the same sentence as them, please. What game was the price error on? Cyberpunk 2077. Cyberpunk 2077. Nintendo ain't making new tracks with open world for free. They might already have some of it done. You never know. We'll see. But yeah, there could be new modes, there could be new characters for free. We have to just wait and see like what they decide to do overall, you know. But yeah, we'll have to wait. So yeah. Let's see here. Yes, and also please subscribe to the channel. If you have not subscribed to the channel, please subscribe to the channel. I appreciate that. Please subscribe. OJ, you getting Final Fantasy 7 Remake Integrate on Switch 2? I pre-ordered Requiem, Final Fantasy 7 Remake Integrate, Pragmata, Monster Hunter Stories 3, Twisted Reflection. Yeah, I'm pretty much getting all those. I'm gonna get Final Fantasy 7 Remake Integrate on Switch 2. Absolutely, absolutely gonna get that as well. So yeah. By the way, Trey found a listing on storefront for Digimon Time Stranger. You better be in the next direct. Yeah, I mean that's something that we knew about that beforehand anyway, you know. So we knew about that when it comes down to it. So yeah. We knew about the situation there with Digimon Story. I've reported on it before. I'll probably make a video on it as well. So we'll probably talk about that tomorrow morning, maybe. So yeah, we'll see about that. I had to do like 7 games off my Switch to make FF7 Remake next year. 7 games. Oh man, that's rough. How much of a do you have a SD card? My brother, I got it for 17. I looked and they had already fixed it, but I got it for 40 on Xbox with Phantom Liberty. I already played it on Stadia. Yeah, they fixed it. I mean, it was up for a while though. Like you guys started talking to me about it, and like it was 17 for a while. Like it was 17 for a hot minute, you know? So yeah. $17 for a hot minute. So it's either way. The 500 gigabyte micro SD card, but I buy my RPGs digital and keep physical sealed, you know. Oh, okay, that's what's happening. So you have a lot of digital games. Okay, yeah, definitely gonna have to clear some space off for that one. It's 90 gigabytes. It's a big boy, you know? Big boy. Big boy overall. So yeah. Make sure you guys hit that like button, though. If you have not hit that like button, hit that like button. Let them know that we're streaming out here. Appreciate you guys. $17.49. I see some stuff here too. Predux, built for gaming. They're showing off PS5 and all sorts of cool stuff here. PC stuff that you can hook right underneath. I don't play at a desk though, so it's not for me. DJ LJ, can we get some Vector Man jams? Yes, we can. Let's go. Vector Man. We haven't had a lot of music requests today for the dono, so if you drop a dono, put your music request in there too. Vector Man jams. If it's super chat, if you can fit it in the super chat, just fit it there. If you want to put it in the chat afterwards, if you drop a dono, that's fine. Streamlabs, whatever the case. I appreciate you guys, man. Appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. Shout outs to Dan Dips. We are now, oh, nice. Only 20 combos away from the Platinum extension. Shout outs, guys. I appreciate that. 85 on the board. Or sorry, my bad. 80 on the board. 20 more combos away from that Platinum extension. I'd love to arm wrestle OJ. All right, one of these days. Boxer Rider says my brother got it for 17. I looked and they already fixed it, but I got it for 40 on. Okay, yeah. Okay, cool. Stadia, man was rocking the Stadia version of the game. We ever get in a PE podcast reunion with Baron, Abaddon, VC, etc.? Oh man, I don't know about that, man. I don't know where Baron is. Baron is I don't, dude. I haven't heard from Baron in a long time. So I haven't heard from him in a long time. So I don't know what he's doing. You know, I'm not sure what he's doing overall. So yeah. I'm not sure what he's doing. I don't. Well, I'm not gonna say that, but so yeah. Let's see. We ever get? But yeah, man. Shout out. You know what? I do want to do a podcast with Shadow Fox. I know Shadow Fox is still active. He still does content. So definitely Shadow Fox for sure. I want to get a podcast. I don't know if I'll be able to get everybody back together, get the band back together. But I'll definitely do a podcast with Shadow Fox. Yo, shout out to Cyber Taurus with the sweep. Hit him with the sweep. Hit him with the sweep. Hit him with the sweep. Sweeper. Swiper no swiping. Sweeper no sweeping. Yo, I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Cyber Taurus with the big 20. Remember, guys, we are going to be streaming on Christmas. So that's going to be fun. It's going to be a lot of fun streaming on Christmas. So for those who maybe don't have as much family or are going to be by themselves, Merry Christmas here. Happy holidays with OJ and the PlayerEssence fam. I appreciate Cyber Taurus. I appreciate that, my boy. Cyber Taurus bumping up the Hokage lead to 40. Anybody who's 40 or more, you can beat up my man Cyber Taurus on the board. And you guys know what time it is. It is time for Noah, and it is time for, oh, not Noah, my bad. It's time for Cloud. Speaking of Final Fantasy VII Remake, time for Cloud. Let's go. Hey, yo, appreciate that, guys. Let's go. Pierre reported that Xbox and PlayStation sales are down in double digits in France, but Nintendo is up. That would be good that Nintendo's up. But yeah, like I said, that's why it's important to wait for all the regions. It's important for, right? I guess that rule of 3 guy, he never came back because I didn't ban him. I just timed him out. But it's important to wait for all the regions. It's important to see all the sales numbers come in before we make, like I said, like I don't report on partial stuff to try to clickbait. When the big numbers come out, when it comes to Nintendo, at least, I don't report on down year-on-year sales for the most part. I don't really do all that, but I report on the actual sales numbers. Once the sales numbers come out from Microsoft or from Sony or from whatever, Microsoft doesn't give sales numbers, but I report on the actual numbers. So yeah, they're up in France. Obviously, they're up in Japan. We'll see what other regions, if they are up in, Canada or the other places or whatever, right? Like, we'll see once they actually give us our sales numbers. But I mean, obviously France is not a massive region, so I'm not going to put a ton of stock into it, but it's something. But we'll see once again. I think in February we'll get our sales numbers, 15 to 16 million. That's what I'm anticipating. I mean, it might be 7 million. Who knows? They could have moved shipped an additional 7. So we'll see. We will see. We don't know the numbers for other parts of Asia. We don't really get those numbers, so we'll find out about everything then. Mm-hmm. Oh, you're here? Oh, okay, you never came back. Okay, you came back. You never said anything afterwards. So I thought maybe you left and you didn't want to come back. But yeah, man, like you heard what I said, I guess, right? So yeah. Hopefully you heard what I said and you treat me a little bit better going forward in the future. Instead of coming here and saying that I'm lying or that implying that I'm lying or implying that I'm glazing or that I'm just being biased and that I'm not analyzing things from a objective standpoint. Hopefully you realize that a lot of these people that you're listening to are doing things simply to get views and they're not looking at it from an objective standpoint. I look at everything objectively. There's not a single thing I don't look at objectively because I was raised that way. And I have a financial background. I don't sugarcoat things. I tell you straight up how it is. This is real here. And like I said, I've been doing this for a long time. Rule of 3. I've been doing this for a decade plus. If you want to talk about a track record, people have called me a lot of things, but a liar isn't one of them. I've been called shill, I've been called fanboy, I've been called all sorts of stuff, but you won't see people calling me a liar. There ain't no videos of people calling me that. And if there is, I want them to come through. I've debated anybody on any topic and nobody will call me a liar. When something's good, I'll talk about it. When something's bad, I'll talk about it. So I hope you understand that and you realize that, you know. But I can point to a lot of content creators who have lied over the years that are telling you right now that, oh, look at the sales. Oh, I can point to a lot. I can point them out if you want me to. There's a lot of guys that have lied over the years or that have been so wrong and don't want to admit that they're wrong. I can point them out if you want me to. I can point them out. I can call them out. I'm not going to do that though. I told myself for my New Year's resolution, I'm going to be a better man. So I'm not going to do that. But I could. I could. But I'm not going to do it. But just know that there are. Like I said, it's a business. You got to think about it this way, man. It's a business. Saying that Nintendo's not selling well or clickbaiting sales numbers based off of what people are talking about or whatever, that's going to get you instant views. Just like it got people hella views. Remember all the views that people got? Buyer's remorse views? That's not even real. Wasn't even real. Remember nobody's buying it reviews or videos that got tons of views? What happened to that? Oh, they sold 10 million. Uh-oh. What? We had videos of people saying that it's not selling. And I had people come here tell me that I'm glazing. When I said, no, I think it's selling pretty good. Based on my own internal numbers. Based on the sources that I have, I think it's actually doing okay. But I had people telling me that I'm glazing, that I'm lying, that I'm this, that I'm that. You know? So yeah. The sales are down, so everyone's lying except you. This is what's being reported everywhere. So I think maybe you did not listen. I think, like I said, no offense, rule of three rule. I don't think you understand business at all. I don't think you understand sales numbers. So I think this is why you're struggling to understand the concept that I had. So let me put it as basic as possible. Basic as possible for you. Okay, this is just basic. Nintendo sales are worldwide. Worldwide sales numbers matter. What's important for sales is worldwide. 1 month or 1 week or 2 weeks out of a month is not more important than 3 months total number of sales. There is no sales numbers factually for Nintendo, Microsoft, or Sony for November, October, or December. There is none. So therefore, I cannot report on terrible sales for any month when I have no sales number and Nintendo has a sales goal. So they might have anticipated X, Y, or Z numbers. Businesses run on expectations for sales. Based on expectations, you can gauge where sales numbers are good or bad. Based on the sales numbers that are visible, that are revealed, that are factual, switch to selling okay to really good. Okay in the US from what we know, based off of Amazon, based off of different charts, based off of my own internal sources, based off of the sources with Paul Gale. And in Japan, it's selling really good, extraordinarily good in Japan. So since I have that, that's how I base things. Are other people lying? No, they're simply reporting on this for views and not giving full picture. Okay? Cool. Hopefully that explains it for you. Okay? So when we get sales numbers in February, we can evaluate if it sold well enough or not. Do you understand? Okay. I hopefully you understand that. I don't think you do, but because like you're still arguing. You're saying cap. You're saying cap. So there you go. You're saying cap. So yeah. Either way, it is what it is. The new console November and December, that's not good. We don't have December sales, rule of 3. Like I said, I think you're just not smart. We don't have December sales. There are no December sales. And once again, you're talking about one region. You're not talking about every region. You're talking about one region with no actual sales numbers. We don't know about December. We don't have December sales. Based off of what we have, which is 2 weeks of Japanese sales, the Switch 2 has sold nearly 500,000. It's going on 500,000 in sales. If you include this week, it's going to be 500,000 plus just in December for the first 3 weeks. That's what I'm going off of. I'm going off of that. I'm not going off of just what you think down a percentage points in the US in November. I'm going off of the totality of what we got in October, what we got in November, and what we're seeing in December, because that is the financial reporting period. The financial reporting period is 3 months. It's not 1 month where you think it did bad or where it's 3 months, not 1 month, 3 months. So I report based off of how I personally feel it's going to do after 3 months and what we've already seen from October, November, and this coming up here with December. That's how I look at it. That's my opinion. Now, if you want to think differently, that's fine. If you want to look into clickbait or if you want to look into other people, so when you're wrong, will you come and apologize? That's a yes or no question. You're telling me, Cap, yes or no? Yes or no? When you're wrong and it's 15 to 16 million, like I said, or it's right around there, will you come and apologize? Rule of 3. That's just, don't answer anybody else. I'm just asking you, will you come and apologize to me and say, OJ, you were right. My bad. Yes or no? Just a yes or no question. Don't answer. Don't talk to anybody else here. Just, I need to know yes or no from you. Will you apologize when you're wrong? Since you don't want to bet money, that's fine. But I need a yes or no. Will you apologize? Will you be here with this account and apologize when you're wrong? Because you're telling me that I'm capping and that I'm glazing and that I'm lying. You're essentially telling me that I'm lying, that I don't know what I'm talking about, right? Okay. Will you apologize? Yes or no? Be a man. Let's see if you're a man or if you're a chump right now. You don't want to bet money? Fine. Will you apologize? Will you be here with this account and that you'll apologize and say, OJ, my bad, I was wrong? Go ahead. Yes or no? I don't need any explanation. I need a yes or no. Be a man. Don't be a chump. Be a man. Yes or no? Will you apologize when you're wrong? Because I have sources. I have some internal numbers that are right around where I'm saying it's going to be at. And once again, Paul Gale, who's not my source, has already stated what he stated. So, no, because we know it'll sell that much overall. We're talking about the sales. So, no, you're saying see, this is why people like this are funny. It's going to sell where they thought it was going to sell, but I am not reporting on down numbers, even though it's selling good, and it's going to sell where they thought it was going to sell, but no, you're glazing because you didn't report on numbers that aren't public, that aren't revealed. I already said that, yes, we already know about the MPD that it was down year on year. We already know that. I already talked about that. But overall, I think it's still doing pretty good. So, you're a joke. You're a joke at this point. You're a joke. We already know. So wait a minute. They're going to hit their goal, right? They're going to hit their goal. They're going to be where they want to be. But you're saying it's falling off a cliff? That doesn't make any sense. Because we know it will sell that much overall. We're talking about sales being down the most important month of the year. So what is your point? Like, honestly, like, no cap, like, what is your point? If you think it's going to sell what I'm saying and they're on track to hit their goal, who gives a crap that it didn't sell in November as well as it should have sold? What does it matter if they're still selling and they're hitting their goal where they thought it was going to hit? So what's your point? Falling numbers of this holiday season is not a good sign. So where do you think, what is your overall point? What is your point? What's your point? Do you think the Switch 2 is not going to sell good for the lifetime? Do you think it's going to fall off? Like, what are your sales estimates? What is your overall point? If you think it's going to be right where they need to be to hit their goal, which they increased for it used to be 15, they increased it to 19. What is your point? Who cares? Like, what is your point? It's not a good sign. So do you think it's going to fail in the future? Do you think it's going, like, what's your point? What's the point of you being here and telling me that I'm capping and all this when I think they're going to hit their goal or get very close to it or revise it? What's the point? This is so weird. This is such a weird debate or discussion. This is the reason why people don't want to debate me, because they don't have any good points. They just have stupid things to say because they watch clickbait videos to be angry or to be worried about something. Oh, let's get worried about November sales because of numbers that aren't real or that are not revealed. But then I need you to be mad. You're glazing. Like, what is the point? My point is, looking at a scenario in the US, especially, sales are likely down dramatically in the coming years, especially with casuals. Okay, so what's your point? What is your point? So it's down with sales over in the casuals. So what? And what? Is it not going to sell as much as Switch 1? Is it not going to sell as much as PS5? Is it going to, like, what is your overall point? So it's not selling as much as casuals. So what? And what? I hate to be mean, but the fact that you keep going right here. So everyone's lying except for you. Lying about what? Nobody's lying about anything. I'm saying that some people are clickbaiting and not giving the full picture and lying about certain aspects. Yes, guys like Nintendo, yes, he's a liar. He said that it's selling Wii U numbers. No, there is nothing in even the leaked sales numbers or whatever you want to talk about that says that it's selling Wii U numbers. So yes, Nintendo in particular is lying. Yes, he is lying. And there are other people that are also lying too. I didn't say everybody's lying. I just said some people are lying when they have certain crazy titles. Yes, they're lying. So what is your overall point though? Obviously my point is in the future, it likely won't do as well as expected. What is expected? What is your expectation for how well it's going to do?
Sales are down in the most important month of the year. It's not a good sign, but also they will hit their goal and sell good. How can both be true?
Well, I don't.
Tears of joy, lol.
I don't know your expectation. I don't know what you think. What is your expectation of how it's going to sell? How many years? What's your sales expectation? You have not given me your sales expectation. You have not given me an overall. What's your expectation for sales? Let's see. Holiday season sales in the US aren't much better than Wii U numbers. Yeah, that's not true. But either way, it's okay. You watch it, that's not true. But either way, it's okay. It's okay. And once again, here's what people are doing. For some reason, people are trying to isolate in order to try to isolate the US. It's going to be Japan. It's going to be the US. It's going to be Europe. I don't just comment on just, when it comes to overall sales, we don't just talk about one region. We talk about all regions. We talk about multiple regions. We can talk about Japan. We can talk about the US. We can talk about certain things, but without actual numbers, I don't know what the numbers are. Like, we don't have any actual numbers. So if I actually got numbers, then I can talk about those numbers, but we don't have any numbers. PS5 is also down year on year with a $100 discount. Does that mean the PS5 is going to flame out in the biggest market when Xbox is already out of the competition and they have all the AAA third-party support? So are you going to PlayStation 5 channels and saying that, oh my God, it's over for PS5? Are you doing the same thing, rule of three? Or are you doing that just for me right now? So are you being fair? And are you going to other channels that like PlayStation? And are you telling them it's over for PlayStation at this point because sales were down even more for PlayStation with a $100 discount? So are you doing that too? I just want to know. Or are you just doing it for Nintendo? Because in the fourth 5 year, you're supposed to be hitting your stride. These are supposed to be some of the best selling months. So yeah, people care about Japan. It doesn't have a discounted price. It has a price that fits their economy because it's a Japanese only language model. So people care about Japan because it's still one of the biggest markets in the world for Nintendo when it comes to revenue and when it comes to gaming sales. You're excluding Japan because you don't want to be wrong. That's the problem. Like, you don't want to be wrong. You know that you're wrong. You know that Japan's putting in work. You know that it's going to be a part of what you're saying, and it disagrees with what you're trying to push right now, which is stupid. I mean, it's dumb. It's a stupid thing. So yeah. But like I said, what's your expectation for the sales numbers? What is your overall? Before I'm not going to argue anymore. What is your overall? I love debates. Debates are fun. What is your overall sales numbers? You said it's not going to sell well as expected. What was your expected sales numbers for the Switch 2? What was your estimated sales numbers for the Switch 2? And where do you think it's going to be at now? So go ahead and tell me that. What was it before? And where do you think it's going to be at now because of November? Because of 1 November. Before we even have 3D Mario, before Super Smash Brothers, before Pokemon, before Zelda, before new gen Pokemon, before Zelda, before all those games come out, what is your expectation now at this point? Go ahead. It's a silly debate, but I'm definitely interested in hearing it. What's your, somebody archive this stream. Somebody archive this stream, or somebody, Dior or some mods, let me know about this stream so we can revisit it when he's absolutely wrong. Let's see if this person ever shows up again. I doubt it, but it's fun for this stream, and you guys always support when this happens, so I appreciate that. 85 million lifetime, it'll now be put at 60 million. Now be put at 60 million. So you think over the course of maybe 6-7 years that they're not going to sell another 40 million units? So are you willing to put money on that? Like, are you willing to put money on that? 85 million lifetime, but now it'll be 60 million. Are you willing to put money on it? If you're not willing to put money on it, then your bet means nothing. This is just numbers that you just randomly made up at this point. You have no credibility. You have no nothing. And let me ask you another question too. What was your sales estimate for the Nintendo Switch 1? What was your sales estimate for the Nintendo Switch 1? And I need you to be honest. I know it's hard for you to be honest, but I need you to be honest. What was your sales estimate for the Nintendo Switch 1? What was that? 6-7. 6-7. Dude said if it's gonna do bad in the US. It's not though. Having an overall downturn in 1 month in UI doesn't constitute not doing well. Like I said, I'll be here and I'll be right. So I don't mind debating, because I'm not the one who's gonna run away scared. I'm not the one who's gonna run away with the new account or gonna run away. I'm not the one who's too scared who's too chicken to not bet some money on something that I believe in. You know, if you believe in what you're saying, then you would bet. You know, if you believe in it, you would bet, but you're not betting because you know that you're wrong. You're trolling. But it's fun. It's fun to entertain some of the conversations that other accounts, because I know you're just getting you're getting your information from other YouTubers. You're not getting it from actual anybody that knows finance or knows business. So I didn't have one. Bought Switch one day. No, what was your sales estimate for the Nintendo Switch 1 before it came out? Since you know you're giving us sales estimates, you're giving us predictions, you apparently know business, you know curves, you know games, you know how systems are going to sell now because of November. You can tell the future. You're Shulk apparently. So what was your sales estimate for the Nintendo Switch 1? If you didn't have a sales estimate for the Nintendo Switch 1, your Nintendo Switch 2 sales estimate doesn't mean much. You have no credibility. You have no experience in this business. You have none. You have no idea how systems sell. So if you've never actually predicted how good a system's going to sell in the past, how can you make a prediction now? You're just talking. You're just talking. So that's why you're not betting. But I get it though. That's why you're not betting money, because you know deep down, rule of three. You know deep down that you're full of shit. Excuse my language, but you know deep down that you have no idea what you're talking about. And I find it fun to discuss it with you though. You know deep down that you have no idea what you're talking about. And you know deep down, I know what I'm talking about. I know what I'm talking about. I know you know that. But you have some type of, I don't know, something against me or something against what I say or whatever the case is. You know I'm right on this. That's the funny thing. You know I'm right. Let's see here. Preach OJ. Also get some chrono theme. Yeah, we can get chrono theme. I got you. So that's Justin with the 3-7 deal. Thank you for the 2. Wii U numbers. He said Switch 2 will sell 60 million. It sold around Wii U numbers just for that November, but it's only gonna sell 60 million. Oh man, they're already pretty close to that 60 million goal, right? They're 15 million plus at this point. Well, they're probably like at 15 million plus, so they're pretty close. I mean, by the end of next year, they can be close to probably 40% to the goal of 60 million. So, I mean, they'll probably end the year next year like at around maybe 20 something to 30 million. So, damn, they'd be 40 to 50% near the 60 million goal by the end of next year. So that'll be pretty cool, right? I guess sales will probably fall off a cliff after that, though. Don't worry, it'll happen after that. Don't worry. Let's see here. I do know. I just like how you were right about Metroid Prime 4, right? How was I wrong about Metroid Prime 4? How was I wrong about that? We don't have any sales numbers when it comes to Metroid Prime 4, right? But let me ask you a question. Was I right about Nintendo Switch 1? Yes. Was I right about Fire Emblem Three Houses? Yes. Was I right about Xenoblade Chronicles 2? Yes. Was I right about Way More Than You? Yes. Unless you have anything that you can show me your Twitter account. Show me what you've been right about. Tell me. Show me what you've been right about. I said Switch 1 was going to sell over 100 million units. I said that. I've got proof. I said it on Twitter in 2017, around February 2017. What proof do you have that you've been right on anything? Let me ask you that question. What have you been right on and that you can actually prove? Go ahead. But OJ, isn't the data from the U.S. sales useful to understand the general trends from statistical point of view? It seems like a bad sign. When it comes to a statistical point of view, the trends from the U.S., it's just 1 month. 1 month doesn't determine how it's going to be a year or 2 years. If you did that with Switch 1 would have never been successful because the trends for some of the months for Switch 1 were not good. So if you apply that same logic to Switch 1, or you apply that same logic to the 3DS would have never sold well. The Switch 1 would have never sold well. If you apply that exact same logic.
Wait, he said he was in middle school in 2017. It all makes sense now.
So yeah.
Lol.
Don't worry, OJ. The same thing will happen with Switch 3. It's endless now. Oh yeah. Shout out to Justin with another 3. Yeah. We'll get these same people here doing the same thing. It's fun though. We'll look back on it pretty fun. Like I do all my Switch 1 debates. But let me know what you've been right about that you can prove. Rule of 3. Let me know what you've been right about. Because I can prove that I've been right about Xenoblade 2 in the sales. I was right about Three Houses in the sales. I was right about the Switch 1 in the sales. I'm not right about everything. I was right about the initial Switch 2 sales. I was right about the second wave of the Switch 2 sales. People said it was going to flop harder than the Wii U. No. I was right about that. It's not going to flop. Obviously, it's already outsold the Wii U for the most part. So yeah. I was right about all that. I was also right about Xenoblade Chronicles 3 and the reviews. People said it was going to review in the low 80s. I said no, it's going to review in high 80s, and it's going to be a Game of the Year nominee. I also said Metaphor Refantasia was going to be a Game of the Year nominee, and it was as well, and it was going to review really well. So I've gotten a lot of things right. So what have you gotten right? Okay, you've gotten nothing right. Yeah, you completely ignored my question. So we're just gonna time you out. You're just here to perpetually make arguments. We're gonna time you out for another. We'll go 10 minutes. You completely ignored my question. I asked you what you've been right about that you can prove, and you just completely changed this. Your response was this isn't random month. It's the holiday season, the new Mario Kart and Pokemon. This isn't a good sign. Once again, we will see. You already agreed that they're gonna hit the sales number or their goal that they're gonna have. So you don't have a point. Your point is it's not a good sign, but they're still gonna sell what they wanted to sell. Okay. Thanks for your input. Thanks for your point, your useless input. Hey guys, it's not a good sign, but it's gonna sell what it's gonna sell. But it's not a good sign for later. It's gonna sell, I thought 85 million, but now it's gonna be 60. I have no actual reasoning for this. I'm just saying it. Bro, you watch too many YouTubers. You watch too many YouTubers. Anyway, when I'm right later, we'll come back to this. Let's see here. I'm sure you wouldn't have predicted Switch 1. You would have been the same fate as the Wii U after losing. Oh yeah, this guy would have said the same exact thing. Of course he didn't predict Switch 1 sales. Of course he didn't predict Switch 1. Of course he won't bet. So I'm tired of arguing with this guy. Like I said, if you want to argue or you want to keep this going, rule of 3, like I said, you're gonna have to drop. I'm gonna need $10. I'm gonna need $10 for you to continue this argument. Since you don't want to bet on the actual sales numbers because you're a chump, I'm gonna need $10 going forward. If you want to debate, $10 per minute. So if you want to debate for $10 per a debate comment. So if you want to argue about it or whatever the case is, I'm gonna need $10 per question. Since you don't want to answer my questions and you don't want to bet on it, I'm gonna need 10 per comment. All right. If you want to comment, put it in the super chat. I'm gonna need a super chat, or I'm gonna need money anytime that you want to debate or discuss this. At this point, since you don't want to actually, I've answered all your questions truthfully. You have not answered all mine. You just ignored me. I said, what have you got right? You have not gotten a single thing right that you can prove. Anyway, moving on. Let's do a rest in peace for the stream later. Good evening, man. Hope you're doing. I'm doing good, the cool guy. I'm just gonna time him out. There's nothing wrong with disagreeing. He hasn't been, outside of saying that I'm glazing, that I'm capping, and kind of just being rude. He hasn't really called any like names or anything like that. You know, so I'm not gonna ban him. No, we ain't gonna ban him for that. We're just gonna time him out because he's dodging my questions. He's dodging my questions. So once again, and he just continues to harp on the US. He's not talking about any other regions because it doesn't suit his narrative. It doesn't suit his narrative. I talk about worldwide. I talk about individual regions if we get sales numbers. If we don't get sales numbers for the region, I'm not gonna harp on the region. I'm not gonna harp on any region without actual sales numbers. Now, like I said, if we do like year on year, we can talk about that, but I don't know what the sales numbers are. I don't know what they are. I don't know where that is. And once again, we don't know what games are coming out in the future. So next year, year on year, if there's a new 3D Mario or if there's a new Pokemon game, it's probably going to be up year on year. That's why I'm not like huge year on year, because it's also going to be dependent on what games come out year on year. If there's a bunch of new big games year on year, like a new 3D Mario or a new Pokemon, then obviously year on year sales are probably going to be up, you know, year on year. So we'll see then. If I'm wrong about that, then I'll say that I'm wrong. I was wrong about Wii U. I admitted that I was wrong about Wii U. Initially with the Switch 1, I was wrong about what Nintendo was doing. I admitted that I was wrong. I have humility. I can admit when I'm wrong, but I'm not wrong on this topic. I'm right on this one. So yeah, like I said, and I'm willing to put my money where my mouth is too. So yeah. Come on, Jay. Two is fair. We're not in a recession. $2 is fair. We're not in a recession. And I was laughing and partying all the way to the bank. Yeah. Rule of 3 makes me miss Callum. At least he wasn't this annoying. Rule of 3. I think Callum's actually more annoying than Rule of 3. Rule of 3 is just, like I said, not very smart, and he doesn't know business. He doesn't know sales. Like I said, he said he was in middle school or middle school when the Switch 1 came out, so he has no idea about predictions and all that. Like I said, I got the predictions right. I said the Switch 1 was going to sell 100. When nobody was saying Switch 1 was going to sell 100 million, I was. I said that. That was me. You know what I'm saying? There's not a single, these people, these content, none of these content creators that are talking about sales actually got Switch 1 right. Who got it right? They want to talk about sales numbers. What did they get right in the past? I got it right. So yeah. I got it right overall. When it comes down to it. Here's the proof. I'm gonna show you guys right now. It was me, Dio. Shout out, it's Cowboys. Here's the proof. Here's the proof on the tweet right here. Here's the tweets. This is not edited. This is actual real. This is the tweet, fam. Look, if you can't read it, I'm gonna read it for you. More info from the Nikkei interview with Nintendo President Kimishima. He says he expects the Switch to sell about as well as the Wii. That was 100 million. This was in February 1st, 2017. Go home, Kimi. You're drunk. Shout outs to Gaming Chick. She's cool, but yeah. She used to come around. Not anymore, but yeah, she's cool. Go home, Kimi. You're drunk. Here's OJ, PlayerEssence. That's me. That's me. February 1st, 2017. That is 1 month before the Switch 1 even launched. That's going on a decade ago. Who's been doing this for a decade? Me, Dio, Black Dio. With combining their portable and home console divisions, it could sell as much. I repeat, with combining their portable and home console divisions. By the way, Switch 1 had months where it was outsold by PS4 in the first year or so, and people told me the same thing Rule of 3 is saying. It could be Wii was lightning in a bottle. Switch isn't selling 100 million. It could based on the combination of portable and console. Even the 3DS and the Wii U almost reached 100 million combined. I don't see it at all. He's being overly optimistic. I say 40 million or so is realistic. 40 million under the Nintendo 3DS. She thought it was going to be under the 3DS. And by the way, we didn't have any official confirmation, but we knew that it was going to get all the 3DS IPs. We knew that it was going to get Animal Crossing, that it was going to get Fire Emblem, that it was going to get Pokemon. We knew that it was going to get all these franchises that helped the 3DS sell 70 million plus. The 3DS sold 70 million because it got all of Nintendo's best franchises. It got Smash Brothers, it got 3D Mario, it got Pokemon, it got Zelda, it got mainline entries in every single Nintendo IP. Like, not like everyone that they have ever, but every single major IP that Nintendo had at the time had a new version on 3DS. From 3D Mario to Mario Kart to Smash Brothers to Animal Crossing to everything. And people still felt that it would sell literally, what is that, 30 million less than the 3DS? That's crazy, right? It's the same thing this dude's doing here. He's underselling it and saying because of certain months, because of this, because of that. You gotta look at the ocean. You gotta look at the forest, not the tree in front of you. I have been someone for the longest time that looks at the trees in front. I'm not looking at 1 month in the US in a new system and this. I'm not looking at that. I'm looking at the long term. I'm looking at, okay, what about when 3D Mario comes out? What about when Pokemon comes out? What about when Smash Brothers comes out? What about when Zelda comes out? What about when all these big system sellers that have always been big system sellers, what about that? I think it's going to do significantly better. It's already doing good, but I think it's going to do even better when those come out. Because those games are big. Those are system sellers. So that's the reason why I've said what I've said and I report on what I report on. I was right then, and I have no reason to believe that I'm not going to be right now based off the sales numbers that we do know. I have no reason to believe that I'm not going to be right once again. Now, let's just make sure that we preface this. I never said that the Switch 2 was going to outsell the Switch 1. I said, hey, look, it could. I don't know how long Nintendo's going to support it. They could make a Switch 2 Pro that's a lot more powerful and extend the generation to 10 plus years. If they do that, then yeah, it has a possibility of outselling the Switch 1. If they extend the life cycle for a long time, I don't know. But what I do know is that it's going to sell decently. I think it's going to be at least, I think I was on record on saying at least 90 million or so, which is a successful console generation. That's not bad. That would be one of Nintendo's better selling systems. That'd put it right up there with, right by the Wii. That'd put it above the 3DS. It'd put it right up there with the Wii. Put it up there with the Switch 1, with the DS. I mean, not close to DS, but it'd be in the upper echelon of Nintendo systems. So, you know, that's what I think. But I never stated, to Rule of 3, if he's still here, I think he's probably still here, I never said that it was going to sell more than Switch 1. I never said that. I never predicted that. I just said that it's going to sell good, and it's selling good. So if you think that's some type of thing, it's a bad sign, it's all of a sudden going to sell 60 million, I would say put some money on it. We can put, let's put 60 million. Let's put $600 on it right now. So that'd be some good money for you right now. Let's put 600. Let me know, and we can do it. Drop 300 now, and we can put $60,600,000. So we can do that. So you would get 600 if you win. You would get $600. That's a lot of money. So we can do that. I know he's not gonna put 600 on it. Dude won't even put $10 on something. I'm joking around with that. But I mean, if he wants to do it, then that's fine. We can do it. But you got to drop half now because I'm the streamer. I'm gonna be here. You're gonna run away scared once you know that you lost. So yeah. But either way, my point is this: I've been doing this for a long time. I don't just make up things, guys. Everything that I have is objective. It's not just based on me liking something. People said I was crazy with this one right here. I had even some content creators make videos on this tweet that I made, I think, or bring it up in their live streams and call me shill and fanboy, because how can the Switch sell 100 million when the Wii U and the 3DS didn't do that? And I was like, well, because they combined their home console and portable. All the big games are just going to come to the Nintendo Switch in the future. Not right now, because we still have, games that were announced for the Switch or for the 3DS. But I said in the future, they're just going to make it to where it's only, Switch 1. And that's what they're doing with Switch 2. Switch 1 still has some games coming out. People are still buying it. But in the future, it's going to be all just Switch 2. So everything, all resources, everything's going to shift over to Switch 2. Which should also boost more people to go to Switch 2 as well. So yeah. Excuse me. Sorry about that. Shout out to the shout outs. My prediction Switch 2 will sell 100 million. Yeah. They're just crying because they were wrong about Switch 1 and they are too immature to admit it. But yeah. You think Nintendo's going to do Switch 3, Switch 4? I mean, I have no idea. I'm guessing that they're going to do Switch 3 in the future. Shout outs to Avedon. What's good, man? Welcome to the stream. Let's see. Well, I guess the Advance was a little under 90 million. Game Boy Advance was actually a little over 80 million. So Game Boy Advance was it was one of their better selling systems. But Game Boy Advance had a very, 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 very short shelf life because Nintendo was worried that their idea would be copied with the DS. So Nintendo wanted to get the idea of touchscreen. They wanted to get the jump on smartphones, get the jump on somebody that would copy their idea. So Nintendo wanted to get the 3DS out as fast as possible. So they rushed it, and they undercut the Game Boy Advance because the Game Boy Advance, 2000 to 2004, I mean, it really didn't have a real life, to be honest. I mean, the Game Boy lasted a decade plus, a decade. So yeah, Nintendo was worried about that, so they got the DS out, and it was a good idea. Obviously, smartphones did undercut them, and people would have definitely stole the dual portable idea if they waited. It would have leaked. Somebody would have leaked it, and somebody would have stole that idea from them if they would have waited, and it would have been bad for them. So they decided to just get the DS out. I mean, obviously, the original DS was, it was not great in terms of the original design. I mean, it was okay, but it was kind of ghetto. And then the DS Lite came out, and I was like, okay, this is the DS that we should have gotten from the beginning, I remember most of the old Switch, old streams from 2016, 2017, people had like Rule all the time saying the same crap, proven wrong every time. Yeah, I doubt he's gonna be here in the next 2 to 3 years when I'm right. I doubt he's going to be here when we get the actual sales numbers in February. I doubt he's going to be here and arguing then. Once again, I don't care about 1 month. I don't care about, I'm not a month-to-month guy. I'm a long-term person, I care about overall, worldwide, long-term. And once again, I don't know the sales. Like, it's just, it's down here. I don't know they didn't give us the sales numbers. So I don't know. I can't sit there and give my opinion on something where I don't exactly know what the numbers are. I can say, okay, that's not great. And sure, I can admit that. Sure, it'd be better if they did better. But from what we know from October, November, December, it's doing good. So that's my opinion. That's always been my opinion. I've never been like, oh my God, I'm worried about 1 month. I said the same thing when the PS4 outsold the freaking Switch 1 multiple months. Okay, so what? What does that mean? And I had some people coming in, like Rule, coming in and saying, oh, well, you're that's not a good sign. I'm like, no, it's fine. There's going to be other games in the future. They're going to sell more. It'll be fine. Systems sell based off the games, not based off of what you did 1 month. What you do in the future is based off of what you have. If you have 3D Mario, if you have Pokemon, like actual new gen Pokemon, that's going to do better than not having that. Like if you have those games, those are going to do better. So that's a realistic and an obvious and I would say at this point even factual statement that if you have a game like a 3D Mario, you're probably going to do better if you didn't have a 3D Mario. Like, right? Like if you have 3D Mario or if you have Pokemon, you're probably going to sell better than if you didn't have it, right? So for me at least, when it comes down to that, like I look at it that way, and I've been right on that with every single system that I've covered, with the exception of the Wii U, which I admitted I was wrong. However, sales did get a bump when they did have 3D Mario. They never had a real Pokemon game. They never had a real Fire Emblem game. They never had a real Animal Crossing game. They never had all of their on the Wii U. So yeah, of course it's not going to sell as well when you don't have your biggest guns. But every single system, since I've been covering Nintendo, since I've been playing, every system that has all of Nintendo's biggest guns have sold well. The only systems that have not sold well is when they don't have Pokemon, when they don't have Zelda, when they don't have, big Mario game that's going to push this, like, that's when they don't do well. But every system that I've predicted, that I've said, since I've been covering, has done well when they have the games. And that's what sells the system, is the games. It's that. So you guys can watch every video you want in the world. Go ahead. But make sure you come back to me when I'm right, because Party Man and the guys that were here, they know what I said before. So yeah. You think Nintendo's gonna do? Yeah. Who knows about Switch 3 and all that? He also forgets that the economy is bad. I'm not blaming economy. Economy is a factor, but I think more about it. I think it's just the start, just the beginning. Switch 2's already sold extremely well, more than the Switch 1 sold. At the start at least. So I don't have a problem with it. When we actually get next year the directs and the games that are coming, we'll see how it does. Now, if 3D Mario launches and 3D Pokemon launches, or next gen Pokemon launches, and they have a bunch of different games and Dust Bloods and all that, and if they are still not doing well in November and December and they're not hitting goals, then of course I'll talk about that. I'll say, hey guys, look, it's not selling well here, X, Y, and Z, and we have the sales numbers to back that up. I will be there. I did it with Wii U. I mean, there were some good times with Wii U when it surged a little bit, but a lot of times there was no surge. There was nothing. Wii U never did well. It almost legitimately never did well at any point. It only sold 13 million. There was never a time period where Wii U was selling anywhere near what the Switch 2 was selling, or Switch 1, or any system that sold good. It sold terrible every single month, every single time, no matter what. It just did. There was never a time period outside of maybe, just maybe, the launch. The launch was probably the only time period where you can say, okay, I think it did all right, because I think they sold 3 million between November and December. They sold 3 million between worldwide with the US and Japan. Wii U came out in Japan in December. It came out in the world first. It came out in November in the US and worldwide. And then it came out December in Japan. So I think that might be the only time that you can say that the Wii U, like right at launch, with the but outside of launch, dude, there was one stretch. Let me tell you how bad the Wii U was. There was one stretch with the Wii U for 3 months. We're talking about 480K in one region. Oh my God, terrible. Bro, the Wii U in 3 months, from January, February, and March. So that time period, January, February, and March, they sold 160,000 units worldwide. No, no cap. Worldwide. Got the Metroid music playing. It sounded like Metroid. Not that great. Worldwide. 160,000 units. Let me give you guys some context. Worldwide, in 3 months, 160,000 units. The Switch 2, last week in Japan, sold 190,000 units in 1 week. 1 week, it sold 190,000 units. The Wii U in 2013, January, February, and March. So when they reported on those sales numbers for January, February, and March, they reported it, I think, in May of 2013. They reported 160,000 units sold worldwide. Yeah, Wii U numbers, my cap. So yeah. That's how bad it was during the Wii U era. That's how bad it was, bro. The 3DS in comparison also had some really low sales numbers for time periods where they would sell 600,000 units for the worldwide, or they'd sell barely at like 1 million or something like that. Or sorry, the 3DS, yes. And the 3DS had a long shelf life. The 3DS had a shelf life of what, nearly a decade? The 3DS was around for 7-8 years plus. Like, they supported it with games for a long time. And, you know, that had months where it wasn't. I mean, that's the reason why it got to the 75 million, because Nintendo supported it for so long. If they cut it off like the Wii U was cut off, or if it had a shorter shelf life, that system probably would have sold like 50 million or something like that. So yeah. Why did nobody want a Wii U? Bad software pacing, didn't have all their big games split between the 3DS, bad marketing. There's a number of reasons why the Wii U failed. Yeah, but it was all those. It's a combination of all of those. Didn't have enough big games to excite people from the beginning. Didn't have good software pacing. They had droughts and gaps of software where there were no big first-party games, or really no first-party games at all. The software that they did have did not impress people enough on the hardware. The looming PS4 and Xbox One were going to have better third-party support. Nintendo's third-party support dropped down to nothing after the initial launch period. It was definitely a a combination of things. But I would say 3DS was also one of the biggest issues. But yeah, 3DS was very slow out of the gate. 3DS was super slow out the gate. They needed a price drop to get that system even back on track, along with some other big games. Let's see here. Wii U. I can give you guys, if you guys want to know like a little bit more of the full story with the Wii U, the tragic downfall of the Wii U, I have a video that I have like a little retrospective that I did on it. So if you want to watch that video, I go through every part of it. It's only 15 minutes long, and it's a retrospective. A lot of you guys probably missed it because I don't think this video did that well. I think it only did 4,000 views. So go watch my retrospective on the Wii U. But I have it, you know, I have all the reasons why it didn't do well, you know. So the rough start, the comeback year, I talked about the comeback year in 2014. 2015, the writing was on the wall, my love-hate relationship, the best games on the Wii U, and then the conclusion. So go watch that retrospective if you want to know more details and kind of how I go over everything about the Wii U. It's a scripted video, so yeah, I scripted the whole thing. So yeah. All I know is about Wii U is that nobody bought Yakuza, and the creator said he wouldn't bring another game to Nintendo console ever again, and he bought another Nintendo console. Well, I think he had already left. He had already left by the time that another Yakuza game came to a Nintendo console. So like the Switch 1, he was already gone. He already left it to a different studio. So he was right. He said that he would personally never brought one. I don't think he ever brought one while he was at Sega. So he was right about that. But yes, Yakuza, the brand itself, did come to Nintendo console. So yeah, I don't think the bad U.S. economy has determined Switch 2's fate. The Switch 1 did DS level and gained way many new worldwide fans like the DS did. I think Asia, Europe, and Latin America can carry. Yeah, I think that. I mean, obviously, I think that you have to look at it from a totality. I mean, obviously, U.S. is one of the biggest markets, but I mean, I think people are being really weird about this because once again, like, it's not just one thing. I could sit here and clickbait all of this stuff. I can sit there and say, wait a minute, you're telling me Sony had a $100 discount on the PlayStation 5 and their sales are down year on year by 50+%? I could clickbait the heck out of that. If I really wanted to, I could, but I'm not going to. It's 1 month, okay? Let's see how they did for the whole year. Let's see how they did for the whole 3 months, and then we can evaluate and we can talk about it from there. I don't do that with anybody. So the thing about it is that, like, if I was hypocritical and I constantly clickbaited with year on year, because Sony's been down year on year like almost all year. If I've been hypocritical and if I was commenting on down year on year, and if I was commenting on all of that and I was making videos and clickbaiting and saying that it's done and all this type of stuff, then yeah, go ahead, call me out for that. Like, call me out and say, why aren't you doing with Nintendo? You're glazed. Do that. But I haven't been doing that. So you're I don't know why you're doing that to me, because it's an industry, right? It's not just Nintendo. There's Microsoft, there's Sony, there's lots of people who are down year on year. I can clickbait any of that. I haven't done that because I'm not stupid. I don't clickbait year on year sales. It's dumb. I look at it from a totality. Because once again, I think it's my financial background. Doesn't mean that it's not news. Sure, make it news. But is it going to be news for me? No. I'm going to look at it from the full totality. What's their goal? Where are they at? And then I'm going to evaluate. That's how an intelligent person does things. That's how somebody smart. I don't overreact and clickbait on year. That doesn't matter. I don't do that with anybody. I've never done that. I didn't do it with Switch 1. Year on year might have been down. Some years I didn't do that ever. So I'm not going to do that now. I don't care if it's launched, not launched, post-launch, post-processing, blast processing. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't care at all. I don't do that. So don't come here expecting that. I didn't do it for Sony. I didn't do it for Microsoft. Not doing it here. Because it's irrelevant. If they hit their goal, then they hit their goal. Who cares? Like, next year's a whole different year. What happened this year doesn't mean it's going to happen next year. We saw that with Switch 1. Switch 1 had an incredible first year lineup, and then the second year was not as good. The second year lineup was not as good as the first year lineup, right? With the Switch 1. And there were some months where PS4 beat it out. Whatever, right? So for me, I don't look at it that way. I look at, hey, what's upcoming? Let's see, and then you evaluate after a totality of time, not just one. Like I don't gauge everything off of 1 month in the first launch year. That's stupid. If you do that with Switch 1, you would have thought that it could fail. Wait a minute. People did think that it could fail. So, yeah. I don't do all that. That's not my MO. That's why I was right about Switch 1. And a lot of those people that were wrong. You know? For sure, I agree wholeheartedly. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's all good. But, yeah. All right. So I think I've yapped enough, and my voice is actually on its last legs. Shout outs to Rule of 3 for giving me some energy to debate stuff that I like. So yeah, that stuff's just fun to me, in my opinion. I just like it. It's fun. All right. So if you guys haven't seen my most recent videos, I appreciate you guys. Go watch my vids. Okay, I got some great videos. I got some great stuff going on. So you guys go watch my vids. I want to say thank you to Justin. So that's the Cyber Toast. Thank you guys for the donos. We're gonna, I mean, we might not stream on Christmas Eve. We might not. But I'm streaming on Christmas Day. We're gonna have a Merry Streamsmas. We're gonna have a stream on that as well. So look out for that. I have a #1 black farmer. I have become the #1 black farmer on Farming Simulator. So go watch my Farming Simulator video. If you haven't seen it, go watch it. If you've already seen it, that's okay. Watch my other video that I did today. I did 2 videos. Today. So go watch my other video that I did today. Okay? Because they're both great videos. They're both awesome videos. They're both incredible videos. So go watch my vids, guys. Farming Simulator. Big horror game that's coming out that should impress people on the Nintendo Switch 2. So exciting time period overall. 50 acres, baby. 50 acre. They don't call me 50 Cent, they call me 50 acre, baby. We out here with the seeds, with the needs, and the please. Let's go. Appreciate you guys. Shout out to Uncario. Appreciate you, fam. Thank you guys so much for coming out to tonight's stream. Thank you guys for dealing with me. I know I'm a bit stubborn at times, debating and talking, but guys, it's so much fun, bro. I can't wait. Because like I said, I was salivating at the Switch 1 stuff because I was like, oh man, I can't wait to be like where we have conversation about this stuff. So let's do it, man. I'm excited for 2026. I think it's going to be a big year for Nintendo. I think they got a lot of games coming. And I think that there's going to be some nice surprises in February when I'm right. So all right, guys. Thank you so thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it. Thank you guys for being awesome. And I will see you guys for tomorrow's videos. And if we don't do a stream, that's okay. We'll stream on Christmas. If I can't stream on Christmas, then I'll definitely stream tomorrow. So we'll do like a Christmas Eve stream, or we'll do like an actual Christmas Day stream. So we'll figure it out. But one of the 2 days I'll be streaming in the next 2 days. So tomorrow and Christmas Day. One of those 2 days we'll be streaming for sure. So yeah, I don't think I'm doing anything crazy for Christmas this year. Like last year we hosted, so it was hard for me. But this year, I'm trying to tell my wife to my wife she turns into freaking Bobby Flay, or she turns into who's the famous female she turns into turns into what's it called, Hell's Kitchen. She turns into who's that guy? That guy on Hell's Kitchen. God, what's his name? Gordon Ramsay. She turns into the Nigerian Gordon Ramsay during Christmas and during holidays. Man, she is just that kitchen. She's cooking 17 different things. It's cooking mama in there. It's new cooking mom. Fire alarms going up. She turns into, you know, she turns into the greatest chef of all time. So I mean, you know, like I want to help her not be, you know, this year. Is calm things down. So she turns into the greatest chef. I mean, she's an incredible chef, by the way. We're thinking about doing catering later. Her food is incredible. She cooked for my family. She's cooked for my family many times. Her food is freaking incredible, man. Oh my God, her food is so good. So yeah, she's doing all that. So this year, I don't think it's gonna be as crazy this year. So I think she's gonna be less stressed. So it'll be all good. So yeah, anyway, thank you guys so much. Appreciate you guys coming out. Love you guys, and we'll see you for the next one. All right, peace out. Play some games, have some fun tonight. See you guys for the next one. Happy Christmas Eve. All right, bye guys.